Well, we're ready to start the ball game. And here is Terry Poole in the lineup tonight. You got to like this lineup that Bill Verdon is using tonight a little better than his lineup of last night. He's got Poole and Morgan in there, along with his left-handed batting catcher, Alan Ashby. Here's Terry Poole hitting at .282. He's always been tough on the Phillies. Ruthven Wines, pitch on the way to him. It is low, ball one. Poole has a .375 lifetime average against the Phillies. Poole had 11 hits against the Phillies this year, batted .344. Next pitch to the left-handed batter is a fly ball left field. Luzinski headed in and toward the line. He's there, makes the catch for the out. Terry Poole has flied to Luzinski in left field. That's one down. Here's the third baseman, Enos Cabell. Cabell went 1 for 4 last night, batted .277 during the year. Cabell failed to hit in 7 at-bats against Ruthven this year. Cabell getting set in the batter's box. He stands in there about midway. Leans over a little bit at the waist, and here's Ruthven's pitch to him. Low, ball one. Ruthven a winner last on Friday night at Montreal when the Phillies broke the tie and moved the game ahead of the Astros. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball. Tried to check but couldn't. It's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Enos Cabell. Joe Morgan is on deck. Cabell has had playoff experience in the past. He was with the Baltimore Orioles in '74 when they were in the playoffs. Here's a ground ball to shortstop. Bo has got it. He pegs to first base in time to get Cabell, and that's 2 up and 2 down.
Ironically, Bo gets the same ball last night and tonight from Enos Cabell in the first inning with 1 out. Last night, Larry threw the ball away and got charged with a throwing error. This time, the same type of ground ball. He got it, took his time, made a strong throw. That might be the difference between opening night jitters and settling down a little bit.
Here's Joe Morgan, left-handed batter. Joe sat out last night's ball game with a wrenched left knee. Morgan was on a tear in the final month of the season, then hurt that knee Friday night at Los Angeles, and he went 0 for 13 in that big weekend series at Dodger Stadium. Pitch to Joe is outside, ball one. Morgan, of course, with tons of playoff and World Series experience with the Cincinnati Reds. This is his 6th League Championship Series. 1-0 pitch on the way to Joe. It's over at the knees. A called strike, 1-1.
Good little guy to have in your lineup, Andy, in a pressure game, because as you said, he's been in a lot of experiences like this, and he knows what it's like to win in these games.
Terry Tata is the home plate umpire tonight. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way to Morgan. It's a drive to center field, but within Maddox's range. He's getting back. He's there. He takes it for the out. Morgan lines out to Maddox. Astros go down 1-2-3 in the first. At the end of the half inning, Houston nothing. Phillies coming up. It's time for a tasty break. The umpires tonight, Terry Tata's at the plate, Bruce Fremming at first, Doug Harvey at second, Eddie Vargo at third, Jerry Crawford along the left field line, and Bob Engel down the right field line. Scoreless ball game as Dick Ruthven set down the Astros 1-2-3. Now let's see how the Phillies fare against Nolan Ryan, who had 35 starts during the regular season. He pitched the distance only 4 times, and half of them were shutouts, one of them against the Phillies. Ryan worked 234 innings, gave up 205 hits, 87 earned runs. His walk-strikeout ratio was interesting. 98 walks, 200 strikeouts. He yielded 10 home runs. Ryan won 11, lost 10. He was 1-2 against the Phillies, and here's a good hand for Pete Rose, who will lead it off. Rose went 2 for 4 last night. So Pete batting .500 in the series. He hit .282 during the year. Rose, McBride, and Schmidt to bat for the Phillies against the right-hander Nolan Ryan. He has had a fabled career. 4 no-hitters. Here's the pitch on the way to Rose, and a fastball is over for a strike. Ryan is 4th on the all-time strikeout list. And he went over the 3,000 mark this last year, only the 4th player ever to do that. Brian Wines, here's his next pitch on the way. Fastball fouled away by Rose, 0-2. Only Walter Johnson, Bob Gibson, and Gaylord Perry have struck out more batters than Nolan Ryan. Lee Elia is the Phillies' third base coach. Ruben Amaro coaches at first. Here's the windup by Ryan. Pitch on the way. Outside, a ball, 1-2. He has given him 3 straight fastballs thus far.
That game that Ryan was so overpowering in Houston when he struck out 10, I believe it was, and just was great that afternoon. Pete got 3 hits off him. Rose, very, very good hitter off the fastball. He can hit a breaking ball, too, but he likes that good fastball.
Pete is 5 for 10 off Ryan for the year. Here's the pitch on the way. There's a breaking ball, and it missed, 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Rose. Pete scored 95 runs for the Phillies this year. He's very proud of the fact that he was able to score more runs this year than last year. Pete takes high, ball 3. Fastball. So Ryan runs a full count on the first batter he faces. Here's the windup, the 3-2 to Rose. Fouled on a play down the left field side.
What he did to Forsch last night, the first time up, fouled all kinds of pitches. I think it was 14 or 15 pitches that Ken Forsch threw Pete Rose before he grounded out to short in the first inning.
Pete is playing in his 6th league championship series, and he has more hits than any other player, 33 of them now. Phillies and the Astros are off tomorrow. The game Friday will begin at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Larry Christensen will pitch against Joe Niekro. Ryan winds, the 3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4. Rose draws a walk, and he's the leadoff runner for the Phillies. So the Phillies open up a little daylight here on the right side for Bake McBride, as first baseman Art Howe will be holding Rose to the bag. And the left-handed batting Bake McBride will step up, hitting at .309 during the season. Bake was a great hitter versus the Astros, .420 this year. He had a 5-for-5 game against him at Houston. Pitch on the way to Bake, outside, ball 1.
Contrary to the way the Astros play, the Phillies like to hit and run, whereas the Astros will bunt. Nolan Ryan, not a good guy to hit and run off, though, because of the high fastball that he throws. It's kind of hard to... You can swing through a ball easy on him, and it also hit it in the air a lot of times.
Ryan sets. Here's the pitch on the way to Bake. It's outside, ball 2, and we were saying at the beginning it's going to be a question of whether he gets his breaking ball over, but right now he's not getting the fastball over either.
Yeah, well, he started out with a fastball because that's what he wants to establish right away, but he's been getting behind and he's not able to throw his breaking ball. Another thing you do with that hit and run with a guy like Ryan is you might get a hitter to chase a bad pitch when he's struggling and get him out of the hole.
Joe Morgan called time to come in and have a word with Ryan. 2 balls and no strikes on McBride after walking Rose. Nobody out. The stretch by Nolan. Throw to first base. Pete steps back.
Ryan is a slow worker. He's slow when he doesn't have anybody on base. When he gets men on base, he'll really slow the pace down.
Nolan ready. Here's the pitch on the way to Bake. That was a breaking ball that just missed outside. Ball 3, 3-0. So Ryan's struggling for a location right here at the outset, and the Phillies will hope to be able to take advantage of this. Mike Schmidt is on deck. Phillies have won 7 of their last 8 games. The 3-0 pitch to Bake. It's over at the letters, a called strike, and he may have gotten the benefit of the doubt on that. A fastball was letter high, and the pitch was given to him by Terry Tata. 3 balls and 1 strike on McBride. Bake went 1 for 4 last night, stole a base. Here's the 3-1 pitch, hit into the air to shallow left field. Cruz headed toward the line and in a few steps, waits for it to come down and squeezes it for the out. So after falling behind McBride, Ryan got out of it and got him to fly to left field. That's 1 down.
And Bake helped him, too. He swung in a bad pitch. It was ball 4 up and out of the strike zone. That's what I meant about Ryan. It's tough to hit the ball on the ground off him because that ball jumps and he hit a fly ball off that high fastball.
Here's Schmitty. Mike went 0 for 4 last night. I beg your pardon, 0 for 3 with a walk last night. During the season, Schmitty was 1 for 5 against Ryan, and that hit was a home run. Here's the set by Nolan. Pitch on the way to Mike. Breaking ball is on the inside corner, a called strike.
Schmitty hit a 3-run homer off Nolan Ryan here in the first inning in a game that Carlton won 3-0.
Rose at first with 1 away, a scoreless ball game, bottom of the first. Phillies are trying to win back-to-back games against Houston. Next pitch to Schmidt. Very high fly ball deep to center field, but plenty of room for Cedeno. He's still backpedaling, but he reaches up and he grabs it for the out. Sounded good off the bat, but it was sky high, and Schmidt is retired on a very high fly ball straight away to center field, the second out. Here's a great hand for Luzinski, who won last night's ball game with a sixth-inning two-run homer. Greg has 5 playoff home runs, has knocked in 10 in league championship competition. Here's the pitch to the ball, and it's over for a called strike, a curveball. Greg is batting at a .311 pace in postseason play. Rose drew a leadoff walk. He's at first, 2 outs. And the pitch on the way to the ball. Breaking ball, misses high. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's given him 2 curves. In the month of October, the Phillies have won 5 of the 6 games they've played. The only one they lost was that final game of the regular season at Montreal. Here's the pitch to Luzinski. Another curveball, but it's over for a strike, 1-2.
Staying with breaking balls, the bull, he's seen 3 of them now, and he's getting that curveball over at the present time, and that's what you have to look for from Ryan, because when he gets that pitch over, that fastball of his is really explosive and difficult to handle.
Nolan stretches. The 1-2 pitch to Luzinski is a fastball high, 2-2. Ryan, of course, has previous playoff experience. He was in the League Championship Series and the World Series with the '69 New York Mets, and he was in the League Championship Series last year with the California Angels. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Luzinski. Ryan taking time to do a little manicuring of the mound out in front. The right-hander stretches. Pitch on the way to the ball. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a fastball. Luzinski strikes out, and the Phillies are retired in the first. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 1 inning, 0-0. We have a scoreless ball game as we go to the second inning. And Jose Cruz leads it off against Dick Ruthven. Cruz batted .302 during the season. Here's Rufus's pitch to him, and it misses outside, ball 1. Cruz went 1 for 3 with a walk last night. Cruz, Cedeno, and Howe to bat in the second inning. Here's a breaking ball that's low, 2-0 to Cruz. Cruz had 5 hits in 14 appearances against Ruthven this year. Here's the windup, and the 2-0 pitch to Cruz. Bounced to third base. Schmidt has it on 1 hop. His throw across to Rose. Plenty of time. Cruz retired. Cruz grounded out the opposite way to Schmidt, who was playing in, and made it an easy play. That's 1 away.
Cruz likes the ball away from him. He likes to go to the opposite field. Ruthven accommodated him by keeping the ball away, but the ball sunk well in the strike zone. He was able to get the ground ball out of it.
Here is CC, Cesar Cedeno. He's batting at .309 during the regular season. Cedeno enjoying a relatively injury-free year and looks like he has returned to his former pace. Pitch to the right-handed batter, a solid ground ball back the middle, backhanded by Trio. Here's the throw. It's in time. It was an off-balance high throw by Trio, but Rose had time to go up and get it and bring it down ahead of Cedeno. A nice play.
That's another outstanding play by Trio. Had a great game last night, ranged far to his right that time to get the ball. Cedeno can run. And Manny knew he had to get the ball over there in the vicinity of first base and get something on it. That's what he did. A little bit high, but Rose was able to come down on the bag. It's another super play by Trio.
Here's Art Howe with the bases empty and 2 out. Howe hit .283 during the regular season. Standing with his back foot on the back line of the box, he takes a Ruthven pitch low, ball 1. No score. Astros batting in the second inning. Howe faced Ruthven 4 times during the regular season and failed to hit. Dick now asking for a new ball and gets one from Terry Tata. Howe went 0 for 4 last night after being the star of that playoff victory Monday at Dodger Stadium. Here's a breaking ball outside, 2-0.
This guy really is a good, solid, dependable ball player. He can play all 4 infield positions. Nothing fancy about him. nose in the dirt type of player and a guy every team would like to have.
Here's the windup by Ruthven. 2-0 pitch to Howe. Pop-up foul down the right field side. Rose is coming over toward the fence, reaching in, but he's out of room. That ball was into about the third row. 2 balls and a strike to Art Howe. Howe's a graduate of the University of Wyoming with a Bachelor of Science degree. He was a computer programmer, I believe, in Pittsburgh when he was first signed to a baseball contract 10 years ago. He was 23 years of age at the time. He won a minor league bat championship one time. 2-1 pitch to him is very high a ball. Back in 71, he led the Carolina League, hitting .348 his rookie season. 3 balls and 1 strike on Art Howe. He's got some power. Here's the next pitch on the way to him. Check swing roller toward first. Rose has it. He'll need help. Ruthven over, covers the bag in time. That was a nice combination between Rose and Ruthven to pick up that check swing roller off the bat of Howe. And again, the Astros have been retired 1-2-3. So we've completed an inning and a half here at Veterans Stadium, and it's a 0-0 game. It's still a scoreless ball game. Here's Manny Trio to lead off the Phillies' second inning. We'd like to send our best along to Edgar Davis of West Jersey Hospital. He's the Phillies usher who would be working tonight except for an illness, and we certainly wish him well and hope he gets back on the job for the series. Here's the windup by Ryan. Pitch on the way to Trio. Good zipping fastball, and it's over for a strike. Manny went 0 for 4 in the opener last night. Manny batted a career-high .292 during the season. Here's Ryan's pitch, swing, and a miss at a curveball. Manny had 4 hits in 11 tries against Nolan during the year. The windup by Ryan and the 0-2 pitch to Trio, very high, ball 1, 1-2. Ryan was struggling with his control. He walked Pete Rose to start the ball game, got behind on McBride, but then got him, and he got Schmidt and Luzinski as well. The 1-2 pitch, bouncing ball toward first base, charged by Howe. He gloves it, runs to the bag in time to beat Trio, and that's 1 down. Manny retired by the first baseman, Art Howe. 1 down in the Phillies' second inning, and here's Gary Maddox. Well, Gary went 1 for 3 last night, and he stole a base and scored the final Phillies run. Maddox, incidentally, stole 3 bases during the season against the Astros. The guy on deck was the big guy in that category, Larry Boa. He had 6 steals versus Houston in a dozen games. Ryan's curveball misses high and inside, ball 1.
Boy, he'll startle you with that thing. He threw that ball right at Maddox. And your first inclination is to get out of there, and the next thing you know, the ball will break over the plate.
The next pitch on the way to Gary. Checks and takes a breaking ball over for a strike, 1-1. Ryan ready to work. The 1-1 pitch to Maddox. Hit into the alley in right center field, but it's in the air. Time for Poole to get over, and the right fielder makes the catch for the out. Maddox flies out to Terry Poole in right center, and that's the second out of the inning. Here's Larry Boa. Well, nobody has a hit in this ball game yet. Larry Boa picked up the first for the Phillies last night. Let's see if he can do it again. Larry batted .267 this year. I want to correct that. Bake McBride has the first hit for the Phillies, and Boa had the second last night. Pitch on the way to Larry is pop foul. It comes back out of play. 1 strike on Boa, batting with 2 out, bases empty in the Phil's second inning. Here's the next pitch to Boa. Fly ball again, foul out of play off the left side. And Ryan, after falling behind the early hitters, now is getting ahead of them.
This is the guy Larry Boa talks about the first time he ever played in the minor leagues. First major league, minor league game, struck out 4 times, thought it can't be this tough, and this is the guy who struck him out 4 times.
Here's the pitch to Larry. Breaking ball is high. This year, Boa went 1 for 9 against Ryan. Astros shading Boa way around to the left side, and they're playing shallow. The pitch to Boa, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Fastball, and Ryan picks up his second strikeout, and the Phillies are retired in order in the second. So at the end of 2, it's 0-0. 0-0 ball game. We're going into the third inning, and Tim McCarver joins us now here on the radio side. And Timmy, we always get you to comment on the pitchers. I don't know whether that's fair or not, but I think maybe tonight it is because they certainly are dominating the game.
Yeah, they are, just like last night. Really a 3-1 ball game. Carlson was having a little problem with the mound last night, as Tug McGraw was. There was no problem, however, voiced by Ken Forsch, and it doesn't appear to be affecting either pitcher tonight. They're pitching exceptionally good ball. As far as Rufus is concerned, I don't think I've ever seen him throw harder. He's really throwing the ball hard. Maybe it's Nolan Ryan's fastball is rubbing off on him.
Here's Alan Ashby to lead it off. Ashby officially listed as a switch hitter, which he is, but they use him almost entirely in left-handed batting situations. Ashby hitting at .256 this year. He did give it up for a while, switch hitting I mean, and then returned to it this season. Here's Ruthven's pitch. It's a slider low, ball one.
I think Ashby is to be given a lot of credit. He had .202 last year, .256 this year. Really an improved hitter. I think primarily because it's his second year in the league.
Here's a breaking ball over for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ashby. He has a .280 batting average against right-handed pitching.
Loves that high fastball, Andy.
Here's the pitch to him. Breaking ball, grounded off the end of bat to Manny Trio. He fires to Rose in time for the out. Ashby is retired on a ground ball hit to Trio's left. That's 1 down in the third inning. And Dick Ruthven has retired 7 straight. Here's the left-handed batting shortstop, Craig Reynolds. Reynolds 0 for 2 with a base on balls in last night's opener of this best of 5. Another sellout throng here at Veterans Stadium. Pitch on the way to Reynolds. It's outside, ball 1. Reynolds had 4 hits and 11 at-bats against Ruthven in those 4 regular season ball games. Dick did not miss a turn against Houston. Ryan did not miss a turn against Philadelphia. As you know, the East and West meet each other only 4 times during the year in 4 series, and these guys pitched in every game. Here's a fastball outside, 2-0 to Reynolds. There is going to be an exception to that next year, by the way, when the Phillies are going to open at Cincinnati in the regular season, play just the single game, and then come back and make 2 more appearances at Cincinnati during the year. Pitch on the way to Reynolds, breaking ball away, and Dick falls behind 3-0.
The reason they're doing that, Andy, from what I understand, is to give every team in the league a chance to play that opener that is traditional, played against Cincinnati because they're the oldest team in baseball.
Outside, ball 4, and Craig Reynolds draws a base on balls. That's the first Astro runner of the ball game. So that'll bring Nolan Ryan up in a bunt situation. The Ryan batting average this year is .086. He's had only 6 hits. Oddly enough, one of them was a home run, and that was in a bunt situation where Don Sutton just laid the ball across the plate, and he whacked it.
That was his first at-bat in the National League this year, his only major league home run.
Pitch on the way to him. He drops a bunt, first base side. It's a good one. Rose makes the fielding play and tags Ryan out in the base paths. Advancing to second base will be Reynolds. That's the second out of the inning. Rose unassisted on the sacrifice, and Terry Poole will get a chance here with a runner at second and 2 down.
That's the Astro game plan. Walk or an error or base hit, bunt them over. That's the way they play the game. I think Burden's done a good job modeling this ball club after the good sound ball club that it is. They don't have a lot of power, but there are other ways to score runs other than home runs.
The left-handed batting Terry Poole. Here's the pitch to him. Line drive left field. It's going to be scooped up on the short hop by Luzinski. Here comes the throw on through. Cut off. Throw to second base. It sails into the outfield beyond Trio. And here is Poole heading for third base. The throw not in time, and he's at third, and the Astros lead 1-0. The ball into left field was short hop by Luzinski. It'll be a single and an RBI for Terry Poole. He'll go to second on the throw, and he'll take third on a throwing error, which I believe will be charged to probably Schmidt.
Yeah, it's going to be to Schmidt. The ball was the inside part of the line to Manny Trio. It was too high. Manny never laid a glove on it. It's a big base hit and a big sacrifice. Those are the little things in the game that you do well, and Houston does it oh so well, as we said.
So for the second night in a row, the Astros have scored first, and they did it in the third inning last night. Now Rufus has to bear down and get Cabell because Terry Poole is out there at third base. Pitch on the way to Cabell. Breaking ball misses low, ball one. Cabell grounded out to short. Ruthven working from the windup. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball is inside, 2-0 to Cabell.
Right before that pitch, Andy, I don't know if you noticed it or not, Cabell glanced down to Mike Schmidt at third base, and with the speed that these guys have on the bases, I wouldn't be surprised to see him drop a bunt down, and Schmidt is way, way back at third.
Of course, with 2 out, he would have to beat it out to score the run.
Right. But he can run, and that's the value of speed on the bases. They have 6 guys in the starting lineup that can run.
The 2-0 pitch is a slider over for a strike, 2-1. Cabell did not get a hit off Ruthven this year, 0 for 7 during the season, and he retired him his first time up tonight. 2-1 pitch to the third baseman is a ball topped toward third, but it goes foul. That would have been a tough one to play because it was not hard hit. It was like a swinging bunt, but it goes foul. 2-2. Let's pause here for station identification, the Phillies Baseball Network.
At 8:59, this is KYW 1060. Philadelphia, your news center in the Delaware Valley. AccuWeather calling for mostly clear weather tonight, an overnight low of 50 degrees.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Enos Cabell. Astros lead 1-0. Here's the pitch to him. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a fastball. Cabell fans to end the inning, and that's the first strikeout for Ruthven tonight. The Astros pick up a run here in the inning. They do it on 1 hit, and there is also an error in the inning, and there's 1 man left on base. We're in the middle of the third. Houston 1, Phillies 0. 1-0 Astros, bottom half of the third inning. This game following the same script as last night's ball game, with the Astros scoring first with a single run and doing it in the third inning. Here's Bob Boone to lead it off against Nolan Ryan. Ryan walked Rose to lead off the ball game and since has retired 6 straight. Bob had 1 hit and 3 at-bats last night. Here's Nolan's pitch to him, and his curveball is over for a strike.
All 3 of those balls Bob hit last night were hit very, very well. Enos Cabell making a nice play at third base. Jose Cruz robbing Bob of an extra base hit in left field. And I can't help but believe that Bob's base hit to tie the game Saturday night helped him mentally an awful lot.
1 strike pitch to him is a drive to right field, but Poole has it lined up, heading toward the line, makes the catch on the run for the out. Boone flies out to right for the first out of the third inning, and the hitter will be Dick Ruthven. Rufus had a good year at the plate. He batted .235 with 16 hits, including 4 doubles and a triple. And he had 3 hits and 9 at-bats against the Astros. Dick bats from the right side. Astros lead at 1-0. We're in the third inning. The windup by Ryan. The pitch on the way, and it's over for a strike.
They're playing Ruthven around like a natural left-handed pull hitter, not because he's a bad hitter, but as you said, Andy, has helped himself throughout the season and has got a good natural stroke to right field.
Rufus drove in 8 runs this year. Next pitch on the way to him, and he waved through it. That'll be a strike, 0-2. Good blistering fastball by Ryan. And the ballpark a little quiet now that the Astros have again picked up the game's first run. The 0-2 pitch to Ruthven, swing and a miss. The ball dropped by Ashby. He fishes it out, fires down to first base where the out is made. So that's the second out of the innings, 2-3 on the putout. And Ryan picks up his 3rd strikeout. Here's Pete Rose. Rose, the only base runner for the Phillies thus far. He drew a 3-2 walk in the Phillies' first inning.
And since that walk, the thing that the Phillies feared the most, Nolan Ryan being able to get his breaking ball over, has occurred over the last 8 hitters. He has shown that he can get his breaking ball over, and he can be awfully, awfully tough if he can do that.
Pitch on the way to Rose, line foul out of play down the left side, strike 1. That's right, after he walked Rose, he fell 3-0 on McBride. Then he battled back and got Bake, and he's gotten everybody since. The 1-strike pitch, fastball up and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
in the early 70s when Nolan was a young man, he really had a tough time getting that breaking ball over. The Angels, however, took a chance on him, traded him to the New York Mets for Jim Fregosi, and he has paid dividends ever since. Outstanding pitcher.
Here's the windup by Ryan. The 1-1 pitch on the way to Rose. It's a breaking ball, curveball over for a strike. Got it right over the outside part of the plate. 1-2 to Rose. Pete has already been on base 3 times in this championship series. The 1-2 pitch to him, low and away, 2-2. Astros lead 1-0. Terry Poole singled in the run. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Rose, swinging a ball, line foul right over top the Houston dugout. One of those wicked low opposite field shots. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Pete. Some of the Astros bobbing their heads out of the dugout to see if anybody was maimed by that one.
Most of the time when you're in the dugout like that, you're thankful that ball isn't a little lower.
Boy, that's for sure. And when it is, you guys really do some scattering down there and
bail
some
out,
towel waving,
right?
Feigning injury, calling your insurance agent. Brian winds. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball back the middle, base hit. Pete Rose grounds one back through the middle, and the Phillies have their first hit of the ball game. A typical Pete Rose hit. A bouncer right back through the middle that found some daylight, and Rose is aboard. His 34th playoff hit.
I thought, Andy, that Pete would be the catalyst to the offense. He certainly showed that he was last night, scoring ahead of Greg Luzinski's home run, and has been on base 2 times tonight. Pete really swung the bat very, very well the last 2 weeks of the regular season.
Here's Bake McBride. The pitch to Bake is a fastball on the inside corner at the knees, a called strike. Bake does not like it. Bake thought it was inside. McBride flied out to left field in his first try. Bake has hit safely in 12 of his last 13 games. Pitch on the way to him. A little ball topped off the plate toward the mound, fielded by Ryan. Fire to first. He got it there in time. That was a nice play. He had to avoid hitting Bake running down the baseline. Swinging bunt retires McBride, and the Phillies go down in the 3rd on no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on base. Harry Callis will be here for the play-by-play in just a moment. At the end of 3, the Astros lead the Phillies 1-0.
Well, we go to the 4th inning of a 1-0 ball game. Houston leading it. And leading off for the Astros will be Joe Morgan. Morgan playing on an injured knee. Flied out to deep center his first time up. Harry Callis along with Tim McCarver at Veterans Stadium on a pleasant evening. Well, we've seen a lot of tough pitching so far in this league championship series. Steve Carlton, Tug McGraw, and Ken Forsch last night. Dick Ruthven and Nolan Ryan tonight. Here's a pitch to Joe Morgan. Takes a breaking ball outside for a ball.
No, actually, Harry, the pitching of the Phillies carried him for the last month and a half with Marty Bostrom pitching super baseball.
Ground foul down the first base side. It's 1-1.
The last 10 days of the season, as a matter of fact, with the exception of that 14-run game against the Cubbies, all of them were in nail biters.
Right.
5 extra inning ball games.
Well, of course, that's how Houston got into the league championship series. Great pitching and good speed. Ball on a strike to Morgan. Here's the pitch to Joe. Takes wide for a ball. It's 2-1. Ruthven lost his shutout as a result of a walk. 1-out walk to Craig Reynolds, who came around to score on Houston's lone hit, a base hit by Terry Poole. This is high and away, and it's 3-1 to Joe Morgan.
Tug McGraw, as a matter of fact, along those lines, had a good point. He said by winning 5 games the last 5 weeks of the season meant that we were going into a lot of extra inning ball games, and he would much rather have, along those lines, saves instead of wins, because that would mean the offense would be producing more.
Right. Here's the 3-1 pitch. He takes low, ball 4. He walked him. So Morgan is a leadoff base runner on a free pass. Second walk given up by Ruthven, and that'll bring on Jose Cruz. Grounded out 3rd, 1st his first time up. Normally, Morgan would be a threat to run, but he is operating with a very bad knee. Joe stole 25 bases this year, was caught only 6 times in his career, was one of the premier base stealers in baseball. So Morgan at first base and nobody out. Send along our very best for a speedy recovery to Mrs. Jenny Caribou at the St. Joseph's Hospital in Reading. Longtime Phillies fan. Here's a pitch on the way to Cruz. Very high fly ball, left center field. Greg Luzinski coming on. The ball is there, makes the catch, and Cruz is out on one pitch. That's one down. That'll bring on Cesar Cedeno. Cedeno was robbed of a hit on a great play by Manny Trio his first time up.
It's kind of unusual to see Jose Cruz go to left field the first 2 times up. He grounded out to Schmitty in the second inning, and then flew out to Greg Luzinski, of course, just then. It was good pitching, I thought, with Dick Ruthven. Generally speaking, with a man on first, particularly on AstroTurf, you try to keep that ball away from left-handed pull hitters because that hole is open with Pete holding the runner on.
Of course, that is the key to Ruthven's success. He knows how to pitch and put the ball where he wants to. He's not an overpowering pitcher, doesn't get a lot of strikeouts.
He's a competitor, I'll tell you that.
Yes, he is. Likes to set up hitters. Very best tonight to Joey Gittkos of West Pittston, Pennsylvania. Loyal Phillies fan. First pitch is low to Cedeno, 1-0. Morgan first base, 1 out. We're in the 4th. 1-0 Houston. Now the stretch by Ruthven. Throw to first, and Morgan gets back. Low throw dug out by Rose. 1-0 to Cesar Cedeno. Here's a stretch by Ruthven. Pitch on the way to Cedeno, foul back. Morgan is not going to be running, it does not look like. If Joe is going to be running, he usually takes a much bigger lead. He'll have at least 1 foot out on the AstroTurf. But he's not taking that kind of lead, and with that knee, evidently, he just cannot attempt to steal a base. Ball and a strike to Cedeno.
He hurt that knee going back into first base on a pickoff attempt in Los Angeles.
On Friday.
On Friday, yes.
1-1 pitch, swing, ground ball deep short. Boa throws to Trio 1. No chance for the relay, but they got the force on Morgan at second base. Cedeno at first on a fielder's choice, where with 2 outs it'll bring up Art Howe, and you can bet that Cedeno will run. Cesar, during the regular season, stole 48 bases.
He likes to run on the first pitch, too, and the value of running on the first pitch, Harry, is it gives that hitter a chance to hit. You get that steal out of the way. Of course, on the other hand, if you run too much on the first pitch, then your catcher, the opposing catcher, may pitch out.
Would you pitch out here? Yes. First pitch? First pitch fouled straight back. Cedeno stays where he is. Actually, Cedeno was just starting to get his lead. Ruthven got the ball to the plate, I think, and caught Cedeno by surprise. 1 strike to Art Howe.
That's the best deterrent to good base running, is hold the ball too long so a base runner can't get that walking lead, or quick pitching before he's ready to get that lead. There
he started and stopped. Boone a pitch out. Throw to first, and Cedeno gets back. Boone did call the pitch out, but Cedeno read it. Tim, a lot of times base runners do. I think Cedeno was going there, but he saw it.
I agree, and I think the pitcher gives that away more than the catcher does, because really the base runner is looking at the pitcher, and it would take too quick a reaction to look at the catcher. But I'll guarantee you he's running right now. Bet your house on it.
All right, well. There he goes. Popped foul out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Art Howe. Cedeno will come back to first base. He was running with 2 outs. And Ruthven has the jump on Howe, 1 and 2.
as a catcher, the one thing you try to guard against is calling too many fastballs with a fast runner on first base. You can never, Eddie Stanky used to say, never determine how you're going to call a game by the runners on base. And you really have to guard against that. Otherwise, guys will get too many fastballs to hit, and you won't have to worry about throwing him out. They'll hit those balls out.
Hit him over the fence.
Right.
Ruffin stretches. Cedeno edges off. Here's the pitch to the plate. It's high for a ball, and it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Art Howe. Cesar Cedeno, first base, 2 outs, 4th inning. Houston leading 1-0. Now the stretch by Ruffin. And the pitch out, nothing on. It's a full count.
An unusual time to pitch out with a count 2-2, but obviously Bob Boone thought he was going. I ran the count to 3-2. It is a dangerous pitch out. You got to be right almost all the time. Boone wasn't right then.
Full count, so Cedeno will take off with 2 outs. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing, a hot shot at Boa. Larry has 1 play to first, and he gets Howe, and down go the Astros in the 4th. So the leadoff walk does not hurt Ruffin. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom half of the 4th. It's 1-0 Houston. Well, we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Mike Schmidt leading off for the Phillies. Schmidt flied out to deep center his first time up. Mike is hitless so far in the league championship series. Mike, over the years, has not had particularly good championship series. 182 in his career and postseason play. He had a good first one against Cincinnati in 76, but not so good against the Dodgers in 77 and 78. Here's Ryan's pitch to Schmidt. Fastball low and inside for a ball, 1-0. Ryan struck out 3, walked 1. Started out shaky, walked Rose and fell behind McBride 3-0, but he has really settled down and is throwing well. 1-0 pitch to Schmidt. Breaking ball. It's a beauty for a called strike, and it's 1-1.
As we said earlier, Harry, that's the key to Nolan Ryan, getting his breaking ball over. He did that to Mike Schmidt, and when he can get it over behind the hitter, well, then you can't sit on that unbelievable fastball. He is really throwing hard.
Here's the 1-1 pitch to Schmidt. Fastball blazing over for a called strike. It's a ball and 2 strikes to Mike Schmidt. Schmidt leading off the Phillies 4th. Phil's trailing 1-0. Phillies have just 1 hit off Nolan Ryan, a base hit by Pete Rose. One-two pitch to Schmidt. Swing and a foul back up over the screen. It's still a ball and 2 strikes to Mike.
The ball was up and in. I wonder if Nolan was remembering that All-Star game last year in Seattle when Mike Schmidt hit that triple against him low and away. Classic pitch for a pitcher. Of course, Mike Schmidt, as we've seen so many times this year, can turn that pitch into disaster.
Yeah, he can.
The better the pitch, the farther Mike seems to hit it.
Wind up by Ryan. 1-2 pitch to Schmidt. Swing and a foul into the upper deck. Still a ball and 2 strikes to Mike Schmidt. Schmidt finished the season as the Major League home run leader, 48. Led the National League in RBIs, 121, and was second in the league in runs scored with 104 of them. I don't think he walked 100 times this year for the first time in quite a while, but he was close. 89. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a line drive right field. It's deep. Poole is back. Leaps up. Can't get it off the fence. Schmidt rounding second. He'll stay there as Cedeno rifles it in. A double off the right field fence by Mike Schmidt. Philly's second hit off Nolan Ryan.
Schmidt was thinking about going to third base. You have to be sure when you make that first out at third base. That ball was away. It was a fastball away. Had Terry Poole been at the fence in time, I think he would have had a shot at it. But he was going back to the fence and jumping at the same time. Mike did have a notion to go to third base. I think he would have made it with the throw that Cedeno made.
I think he would have, too. But as you say, lead off an inning, you One thing you do not do is get thrown out at third. I believe he would have made it. Here's Greg Luzinski. Pitch to him, over for a called strike. Greg struck out his first time up. One strike to Greg Luzinski. Now the stretch by Nolan Ryan. The pitch to the Bull. Swing and a base hit down the right field line. Schmidt rounding third. He'll score. Luzinski heading for second. Pulls, throw, gets by the shortstop Reynolds. Luzinski in at second with a double, and it's a 1-1 ball game. Almost a check swing, inside out double. Greg did not want to swing at it. It hit on his handle on the bat and went between Howe and the bag down the right field line. As the scoreboard says, a Bull burp, but it got the job done. It's a 1-1 game.
That's the beauty in hitting. You drive them back, and then you pull them in. The check swing fastball couldn't have been played. I don't think Bull was trying to go the other way on that ball.
No, I don't think so.
The ball forced him to go the other way.
Luzinski at second base. A 1-1 ball game, and here's Manny Trillo. Grounded out to Art Howe his first time up. Trillo bunts the ball to Art Howe. He's thrown out, but the sacrifice is good. It moves Luzinski to third base, where with one out, a fly ball will score him. A little bit surprised there that Manny bunted the ball because he is so adept at hitting the ball on the right side. He might base hit you to right.
I agree. The only thing that Dallas Green is probably thinking is that Nolan Ryan throws so hard, the possibility of a strikeout with him throwing that hard is great, but Manny doesn't strike out that much either. I have to agree with you. I think in that situation you ought to be swinging away, but the sacrifice did work. Luzinski's on third with less than 2 out.
And Houston will bring their infield in. The pitch to Gary Maddox. Swinging a pop foul over the screen. 1 strike to Maddox. Well, I think with some hitters I'd bunt. Those hitters that have trouble hitting on the right side. But Trillo is so adept at hitting the ball on the right side of the infield.
Right. Larry Boa, for instance, would be one guy that you would bunt with.
Right. 1 strike pitch to Maddox. It's low in the dirt. A good block by Ashby. Ball and a strike to Gary, who flied out to right his first time up. Luzinski at third base with 1 out. Breaks double, continuing his League Championship Series hitting streak. He's hit in all 13 games that he's played. So the big guy is at third with 1 down. It's a ball and a strike to Gary Maddox.
I don't know what the Houston scouting reports say about Gary. The best way to pitch Gary is to keep the ball away from the bat head, and that's to pitch him inside. He cannot drive the ball inside, particularly when you're throwing the ball almost 100 miles an hour.
Here's the 1-1 pitch to Maddox. Swing and a line drive, hit left field. Luzinski scores. Maddox at first base, and the Phillies lead it 2-1. Breaking ball away, Harry, and a good one it looked like. And as we've seen, similar to Schmidt hitting the ball away, Gary Maddox seems to hit the good curveball better than he does the hanging curveball. Oh, Gary Maddox with a line drive single has put the Phillies in front 2-1. Still only 1 out, and Larry Boa, the battery, struck out his first time up. Maddox during the regular season stole 25 bases. Here's the pitch out. Nothing is on. 1-0. Tim, it's interesting. Alan Ashby behind the plate for Houston. They picked up from Toronto. He's done an outstanding job.
He surely has.
Pitch on the way. Wide for a ball, 2-0. Toronto also traded Rick Cerrone to the Yankees, who's a super job. That's 2 great catchers that
That's right.
the Blue Jays have let go and trade.
And that's one position you just don't shuffle guys around in. Catchers are premium in the major league.
There goes Maddox. Drive into left field, but it's right at Jose Cruz. He makes the catch. Gary had a good jump. But a line drive to left for out number 2, and that'll bring on Bob Boone.
I think Gary was trying to steal the base, and I don't believe the hit and run was on. As Chris Wheeler mentioned earlier, this guy is probably the one guy in the major leagues that if you're not going to hit and run against, he would be the guy you're not going to do it. He throws high fastballs. It's almost impossible to keep the ball on the ground consistently against him.
Throw to first, and Maddox gets back. And what you're saying is that Boa probably should have taken the pitch.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Gary looked like he had a good jump. Pitch to Boone, high and inside for a ball, 1-0. Boone lined out to right his first time up.
It's hard for a left-handed hitter. The only thing against that is it's tough to pick up whether a guy's going to run, particularly when Gary Maddox likes to steal on his own. That's why I think left-handed hitters should have the steal sign.
Maddox started and stopped a high fastball, and it's 2-0 to Bob Boone.
It's similar to a 3-1 situation, Harry. If the runner's going, you're going to be swinging at a 3-1 strike that's on the outside part of the plate. If the ball's on in a 3-1 situation, you're looking for a ball to drive. And if the guy's running, you're going to swing it less than your best.
There goes Maddox. The pitch is high, but the throw in time. A great tag by Joe Morgan, and Maddox nailed attempting to steal. From Alan Ashby to Joe Morgan, and the Phillies go down in the fourth inning, but take the lead with 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, none left. After 4, it's 2-1 Phils. Leading off for Houston, Alan Ashby here in the 5th, grounded out his first time up. Harry Callis with you, and Chris Wheeler has joined us at Veterans Stadium, where the Phillies have taken a 2-1 lead. Game 2, League Championship Series play. Since I missed the Tasty Cake lead that inning, I'll remind you to be sure and stay tuned right after the ball game for the Tasty Cake wrap-up show. Have an interview for you, highlights of this game. Like Tasty Cake, it's all the good things wrapped up in one. Alan Ashby fouls the pitch off, 1 strike to him. Two-1 Phillies. We're in the 5th. 1 strike pitch to Ashby. Wide for a ball. It's 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Slider that misses low. It's 2-1 to Alan Ashby. Ashby hit .256 during the regular season, .277 left-handed. He's a switch hitter. Does not play much, though, against left-hand pitching. They usually catch Luis Pujols. Here's the 2-1 pitch. High and away. Ball 3. Bases on balls hurting Ruthven. The lone run that Houston has scored came as a result of a 1-out walk to Craig Reynolds. Opened the 4th by walking Joe Morgan.
Right, he walked the leadoff batter last inning and got away with it.
3-1 pitch, swing, line drive, foul down the right field line. Bounding over the head of ball girl Kathy Schneeberger and all the way back to the fence, where it's retrieved by Bake McBride. Full count to Alan Ashby.
Ruthven's a pitcher who normally does not hurt himself with bases on balls. He's not afraid to throw his breaking ball when he's behind a hitter.
3-2 pitch. Fastball hit in the air to deep right center field. Gary Maddox there. Gary makes the catch. Ashby is out. That's 1 down. That'll bring up Craig Reynolds. He walked his first time up. 5th inning, 2-1 ball game. Phillies lead it. Getting back-to-back doubles from Schmidt and Luzinski and an RBI single by Gary Maddox.
Greg Luzinski continues to get his hits in these championship games. That hit he got last inning, we really got jammed and kind of check swung at it, but he hit it really hard down the right field line, and it'll look like a line drive in the box score tomorrow.
Here's the pitch on the way to Reynolds. He lofts a foul down the left field side. The bull right in front of the picnic area makes the catch. So Reynolds is out on a foul fly to Luzinski. 2 down. And that'll bring up Nolan Ryan. Ryan sacrificed his first time up. He hit .086 during the regular season. 1 homer. It came at the Astrodome off Don Sutton. It's his only career home run. pretty good guy to have in your book.
Yeah, I remember watching that game. It came in a situation when he had a 2-0 count on him with a couple men on base, and the Dodgers thought he was going to bunt. And Sutton kind of lost his concentration, threw a ball right down the middle. He hit it out.
Here's the windup by Ruthven. Pitch to Nolan Ryan. Fastball high for a ball. 1-0 to Ryan. 2 outs and no base runners. Here's the pitch to him. Swing and a drive to deep right field. Slicing toward the corner. Foul ball. That bounded off the fence in foul territory. He gave it a good ride to the opposite field. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nolan Ryan.
He got a fastball out away from him and just tried to go with it. Nolan Ryan is a big, strong guy. And while he isn't much of a hitter, he makes contact with the ball. He can hit it a long way, and he almost hit that ball out to the opposite field right down the line.
Ball and a strike to Nolan Ryan. 1-1 pitch. Fastball fouled back into the upper deck, and Ruthven in front of him. A ball and 2 strikes. Phillies lead it 2-1. We're in the 5th inning. Signal flash by Bob Boone. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. He struck him out. Second strikeout for Ruthven. No runs, hits, or errors. None left. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning with the score. Phils 2, Houston 1. Well, this is it, fans. The Phillies are up, and it's time for another Daily News home run payoff. The game that puts the Phillies at bat to win up to $5,000 for you. Every hit and RBI pays off in tickets and cash. Since the beginning, the Daily News has paid out nearly $170,000 and more than 21,000 Phillies tickets. So come on, Phillies, connect for a home run payoff in Daily News home run payoff inning. Leading off in the home run payoff inning will be Phillies catcher Bob Boone. He'll be batting for E. Beulah Becker. Douglas Street in Reading, Pennsylvania. Boone lined out to right his first time up.
He was up last inning, and we'll get a fresh start when Gary Maddox was thrown out trying to steal at second. It looked like it to the naked eye that the only person in the park who missed that play was Doug Harvey, and on the replay, he never did touch Gary Maddox at second. Maddox came up and argued, and when Maddox argues, you know that he thinks he's right, and he was on the play. He was safe.
Here's the windup by Ryan. Pitch to Boone is low for a ball. It's 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes to Bob Boone, bottom half of the 5th inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Boone. Over for a called strike. It's 1-1. Phillies lead 2-1, bottom half of the 5th. Here's the pitch to Boone. Swing ground ball shortstop. Reynolds has it on a big hop and throws in time to get Boone 1 down. E. Beulah Becker of Reading. You'll get 4 reserve seat tickets to a Phillies game next season. That'll bring up Dick Ruthven. He'll be batting for Constance Garvin of Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania. Dick struck out his first time up. 1 down, 5th inning. Pitch to Ruthven, fastball over for a called strike. 1 strike to Dick Ruthven. Ryan's pitch to him, breaking ball is a beauty for a called strike, and Ruthven is quickly in the hole, 0-2.
He's thrown Ruthven some good breaking balls, respecting Dick's ability as a batter.
Here's a pitch to him. Fastball, swing, and a miss. He struck him out. Blew him away. 4th strikeout for Ryan. That's 2 down in the 5th. Constance Garvin of Drexel Hill. You'll get 4 reserve seat tickets to a Phillies game next season. That'll bring up Pete Rose. Pete's walked and singled. He's had 3 hits so far in this league championship series. He's batting for John Supa, McKean Street in Philadelphia. Here's Ryan's pitch to Rose. It's low for a ball, 1-0. 1-0 pitch to Pete. Swing and a hot shot, base hit left field. Oh, and as Rose rise to the occasion in these playoffs. That is his 4th hit in 2 games. In League Championship Series play in his career, he's batting around .385. He's won $10 for John Supa, Philadelphia, plus 4 reserve seat tickets to a Phillies game next season. That'll bring on Bake McBride. He'll be batting for Edward Nahorny of Philadelphia. Bake is fly to left, grounded back to the mound. Pitch to him. Fastball, strike called on the inside corner.
You know, Harry, he was on his last 4 times on Saturday. He went 2 for 2 on Sunday. He got on a couple times last night, and he's been on 3 straight times tonight. So in his last 4 games, he's been on base almost every time up.
Largest crowd of playoff history for both leagues, bringing yesterday's crowd.
Paid attendance tonight is 65,476. And that breaks last night's record for the largest crowd in League Championship Series play. 1 strike to McBride. Throw to first, and Rose is back. Phillies lead 2-1, bottom of the 5th. Rose off Ryan this year, counting the regular season, 7 for 12. Pitch to Bake McBride, breaking ball that just misses outside. It's 1-1. Now the stretch by Ryan, 2-1 pitch. Bake committed himself on a low breaking ball, tried to check, but he went after it. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch. Inside with a fastball. It's 2-2. Bills lead it 2-1. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Rose first base, 2 outs. Bake batting for Edward Nahorny of Philadelphia in our Daily News home run payoff. There goes Rose. 2-2 pitch, foul back up and just below us. And it's still 2-2 to Bake McBride. On Friday at Houston, Larry Christensen will be pitching for the Phils. Joe Niekro for Houston. Two balls and 2 strikes to Bake McBride. Ryan stretches, 2-2 pitch. Swing and a high chop right to Art Howe. The first baseman makes the unassisted putout, and the Phillies go down in the 5th. Edward Nahorny of Philadelphia. You'll get 4 reserve seat tickets to a Phillies game next season. Join us again on Friday afternoon when in a designated inning you could win up to $5,000 in Daily News home run payoff. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 5, it's 2-1 Phils. Now time for a tasty break. Well, we move to the 6th inning with the Phillies leading at 2-1, and leading off for Houston, the top of the order, Terry Poole. Poole is flied out, single to drive in Houston's lone run. Phillies with 5 hits, Houston with just 1, the single by Poole. Poole during the regular season hit .282. Pitch on the way to him. Hard ground ball, but at Manny Trio, he has it and throws, and Poole is out on 1 pitch, 1 down. That'll bring on Enos Cabell. He is grounded out and struck out.
Something the Phillies should remember later in the game when Poole comes up again, especially if he's in a situation to hurt them. He swung at the first pitch all 3 times tonight. He got a base hit 1 time and made outs the other times. But the next time he comes up, and as I say, if he can hurt you, you've got to bounce a ball up there or throw something out of the strike zone because he's very, very anxious. He swung at the first pitch last night when he pinch hit.
That is kind of away from his norm.
Yes.
It seems to me that over the few years he's been in the major leagues that he waits out a pitcher and draws a lot of walks. He has been offering it the first one. Here's the pitch to Cabell. He lofts a very high pop foul. Bob Boone off with a mask. Right in front of the screen, runs out of room. It lands on top of the Houston dugout. Terry Tata hustling back to watch the play. Slipped and fell. But a good example of the all-out hustle of this umpiring crew. Tata was back right on top of the play.
It was good hustle by him.
Two of the umpires in this crew, Terry Tata and Bruce Fremming, worked the series in Montreal and did just an outstanding job.
Cabell is a guy who does swing at the first pitch almost every time he's up. He's a wild swinger who does not walk very often, and he stayed right in form that time by swinging at the first pitch from Ruthven.
Here's the one-strike pitch to Cabell. Swing and a miss on a slider, 0-2. How many times did he walk this year?
I think it was 24. I looked at it last night, and 6 of them were intentional.
26.
26, okay. 26 and 500 and some at bats, and that is a wild swinger.
He is. He is a free swinger. Just started wearing glasses.
Yeah, last week he started wearing them.
Here's the two-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out with a fastball. Third strikeout for Ruthven. That's 2 down here in the 6th. That'll bring up Joe Morgan, who's lined out to deep center and has walked.
I think Harry will be interesting to talk to Ruthven after the game, but I think he's throwing the ball as hard tonight as he has in a long time, and it's really setting up his other stuff. His fastball, which really, he doesn't regard himself as a hard thrower. His fastball tonight is really outstanding and probably very sneaky to these hitters.
Well, you think perhaps that almost all pitchers involved in postseason play might get a little more extra on the fastball just because of the adrenaline flow? Here's a pitch low for a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, it's very, very possible. You get out there and you just do a little bit more. He's also had some rest, and that's important for Rufus. He does not pitch well on 3 days rest, and he's had the rest since last Friday.
1-0 pitch to Morgan. Breaking ball is low, and it's 2-0. 2 outs, no base runners, 6th inning. Phillies lead 2-1.
Here's another contrasting style from Cabell to Morgan, who will not chase a bad ball.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. High and away, ball 3. It's 3-0.
Ruthven had the good fastball and was throwing it. Comes out and throws 2 sliders and a changeup to Morgan and gets behind right away.
Here's the 3-0 pitch to Morgan. He had a green light, and he pops a foul back up into the upper deck. 3-1 to Joe Morgan. Morgan used to really drive the ball. He hit 11 home runs this year. But for a little guy, very quick bat and strong wrists. Pitch to him. Lays off a high pitch. Ball 4. He walked him. Third walk given up by Ruthven. Second time he has walked Morgan. Joe is a 2-out base runner, and that'll bring out Jose Cruz.
Cruz is an early swinger, too, in the count a lot of times, and likes to go the other way with the ball. The Phillies' reports on him are that he is hitting the ball to the opposite field, and tonight he has hit balls to the left side of the infield both times up.
So Joe Morgan at first base with 2 outs, tying his shoelace and talking to ex-teammate Pete Rose.
He keeps changing his shoe when he goes down there after he bats. That's the second time, and the coach Lillis down there, it's not Lillis. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
He puts the shoe in his back pocket after he gets down and changes it. That's the second time he's done that.
Joe, when he was a leadoff base runner in the 4th inning, gave no indication whatever that he would run. He is playing on a very bad knee. Here's a pitch on the way to Cruz, and it's a strike called on the outside corner, a changeup. 1 strike to Jose Cruz. Phillies leading 2-1. Now throw to first base, and Morgan is back. Just don't think Morgan is going to be running tonight.
No, he's got that bad knee you talked about, Harry, and he'll really have to feel that he's going to get a good jump before he'll go. And that's good for the Phillies. He's still a pretty good base stealer.
There's a pitch to Cruz, and it's low and away for a ball. When he is running, he will get a lead. He knows the pitchers, and he'll get a lead with that front foot off the cutoff out and onto the AstroTurf. But he's not taking that kind of lead tonight.
For 2 years straight, he was unquestionably the best player in this league.
And he won MVP awards 2 straight years. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball wide for a ball. It's 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Jose Cruz. Morgan first base, 2 outs. 6th inning. Phillies lead 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Wide for a ball. It's 3-1. Ruthven keeping the ball away from Cruz, but he's missing away. Count is 3 balls and a strike to Jose.
He likes the ball away. I mean, that's where he wants it. But the idea to keep it well away from him, trying to get him to chase it.
There goes Morgan. 3-1 pitch is ball 4. The throw to second plate. That's ball 4 anyhow. Didn't matter. It's a walk to Jose Cruz. The 4th walk given up by Ruthven, and the Astros have 2 men on base, 2 outs for Cesar Cedeno. Cedeno has grounded out on a great play by Manny Trio and hit into a fielder's choice. So Morgan at second, Cruz at first with 2 outs. Here's the stretch and a pickoff try at first base. Cruz gets back in. It's a time play. Rose trying to sneak in behind that runner at first base and catch him sleeping. The Phillies have executed that play a couple of times. Executed it in Montreal, I believe.
It's a play that Rose puts on himself. And the pitcher picks up the signal from him, and Rose then sneaks in behind the runner.
Here's the pitch to Cedeno. Breaking ball on the inside corner for a called strike. 1 strike to Cesar Cedeno. Astros with 2 men on base on walks, 2 outs. Here's the pitch on the way to Cedeno. Fastball foul back up over the screen. He has a jump on Cesar. 0-2.
Cesar Cedeno very upset at himself. He had a fastball he thought he could handle. It was up and out over the plate a little bit, and he fouled it back, and you can see him kind of shaking his head as if to say, like to have that baby back.
Morgan at second, Cruz at first with 2 outs. 2 strikes to Cedeno. Here's the stretch. The 2-strike pitch, high fastball. Cedeno laid off at 1-2. Thinking there by Ruthven and Boone is to get Cesar to chase a high heater, but he did not. 1-2 to him. Now the stretch by Ruthven. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, fouled back and out of play into the press box. Still 1-2 to Cedeno. Ruthven roughs up a different baseball. Phillies lead it 2-1. We're in the 6th inning. Now the stretch by Ruthven. 1-2 pitch, swing and a hard ground ball, backhanded brilliantly. Bowen, no play anywhere, but it saved a run. Fine backhand grab in the hole by Larry Boa. It saved the tying run from scoring. A sharply hit ground ball in the hole. He had no play anywhere. Base hit Cedeno. Houston second, and they have the bases loaded. 2 outs for Art Howe.
Cedeno hit a ball that time. It looked as if it was going to have eyes. He didn't hit it that well. It was a high fastball and hit on the end of the bat. But as Harry said, Boa saved a run with a good hustling play to keep that ball in the infield.
Houston with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Howe's been up twice he's grounded out. Ruthven's pitch to him. Line drive, foul down the left field line. 1 strike to Howe. Ruthven in a jam. Self-inflicted. He had 2 outs in this inning, then walked Morgan and Cruz. Cedeno the infield single. One strike to Howe. Here's the stretch by Ruthven. 1 strike pitch, swing. He chased a high pitch, fouled it back to the screen. He tried to check his swing, but he committed himself, and the ball hit his bat and foul ball to the screen, and Ruthven's in front of him, 0-2. Phillies got Dickie Knowles and Kevin Sauché up in the bullpen. 2 strikes to Howe. Bases loaded with Astros, 2 outs. Ruthven from the stretch. The 2-strike pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. He struck him out. A big strikeout for Ruthven. Caught Howe looking at a breaking ball, and down go the Astros in the 6th. They leave the bases loaded. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, 3 left. We move to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Phillies leading Houston 2-1. Mike Schmidt will lead off for the Phillies here in the bottom of the 6th. Schmidt has flied out to deep center, doubled, and scored a run. Nolan Ryan giving up 2 in the 4th. Back-to-back doubles by Schmidt and Luzinski. And a line single off the bat of Gary Maddox. Here's the pitch on the way to Schmidt. Breaking ball over for a called strike. Here's the 1-strike pitch on the way to Mike Schmidt. Another breaking ball misses, 1-1.
That pitch that Dick Ruthven threw to Art Howe might have been the best pitch he threw all night. He had him 0-2. Howe helped him by chasing a high fastball, and he just froze him with an outstanding breaking ball in the outside corner. Really tough to take a pitch 0-2, but that was a great pitch he threw him.
1-1 pitch. Committed himself on a low breaking ball, a ball and 2 strikes. Schmidt has seen all curveballs in this at-bat. Ryan has been throwing that curve for strikes to Schmidt anyhow.
Luzinski's got quite a few curveballs tonight, too, and he's thrown a bunch of them for strikes. Greg got a check swing hit his last time up off a fastball.
Ryan is in front of Schmidt, 1-2. Bottom half of the 6th inning. 1-2 pitch to Mike. Just missed a little bit high. It's 2-2. Nolan Ryan has struck out 4. He's walked 1. Finished the season with 200 strikeouts. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Schmidt. Swing and a very high pop-up, shallow left center. Reynolds going out. Cedeno coming in. And Cedeno makes the catch. And Schmidt is out, 1 down. That'll bring up Greg Luzinski. He struck out, doubled, and knocked in a run. Bills lead it 2-1. Bottom half of the 6th inning. Pitch to Greg Luzinski. Over for a called strike, a breaking ball. 1 strike to the Bull. Now the pitch on the way is high for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Greg Luzinski. The 1-1 pitch. Good breaking ball. Strike called at the knees. Ball and 2 strikes to the Bull with 1 down. Bottom of the 6th.
Ryan keeps throwing Luzinski curveballs, and he's been throwing him good ones.
When he throws that for strikes, he can be awfully tough. Blazing fastball, miss low. He reached back for a little extra on that one. It came in a hurry, but it was low. It's 2-2.
It just gives the hitter a moment's hesitation on that fastball, and that's all it takes as hard as he throws. If the breaking ball is in your mind at all.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He chased the low breaking ball, and he struck him out. That'll be the 5th strikeout for Ryan. 2 down here in the 6th, and it'll bring up Manny Trio. Trio's grounded out and sacrificed. Manny is hitless in league championship play so far. 0 for 5. But oh, what magnificent glove work by the Golden Glove second baseman. He has been the defensive standout in this series. Pitch to him, pop foul out of play.
Ironically, the one ball that Manny didn't come up with last night, a ball he thought he should have caught, scored the run that the Astros pushed across last night. But that play was a difficult play, and the ball really skidded on him, but Manny will catch it most of the time.
Here's the one-strike pitch to Trio. Outside for a ball, 1-1. Has Manny ever before appeared in League Championship Series play?
Yes, with the Oakland Athletics in 1973.
1-1 pitch to Trio. Line smash hit left field. Cruz takes it on one hop, and Trio has his first League Championship Series hit. Did he get an at-bat?
No, he was on the roster. He didn't play, but he was a member. He was the guy.
He did play.
He did play, okay.
Played one game in 74, scored a run. He must have been sent in as a pinch runner or walked. No, he didn't walk.
74 or 73?
It says 74 in the press guide. I'm assuming that's accurate since you put it out.
Well, that's a terrible assumption on your part.
That is true. Trio at first with 2 outs. Here's Gary Maddox, and the pitch to him bounced foul off to the left of the plate. 1 strike to Maddox. Gary knocked in the go-ahead run. A line single his last time up. He's 1 out of 2. I'll double-check your accuracy with the Baseball Register.
Manny was the guy they tried to get on the roster in the 73 World Series for Andrews in that Charlie Finley escapade.
Here's a pickoff throw that hits the umpire, Bruce Fremming, or Trio would ended up at second, maybe third. And that had to sting Bruce. A pickoff throw by Ryan, and he rifled it over there way past Howe, and it hit Bruce Fremming, the umpire. He did everything he could to get out of the way of it, but he could not get out of the way, and Houston gets a break on an errant pickoff throw off Fremming.
Even from that far away, that's got to hurt when Nolan Ryan hits you with a baseball. Fremming did do everything he could to get out of the way. Sometimes you get a call from people or a letter, or the umpire's in play when a ball hits them. Well, you saw it. They're in play.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul to the screen. 0-2 to Gary Maddox. It was 74 that Trio appeared in League Championship play. Got in 1 game, scored a run. Did not get an at-bat.
I figured the press guide was right because Larry Schenk probably did it.
Right. 2 strikes to Maddox. Trio at first base and 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Gary. Swings and he misses on that good curveball. He struck him out. 6 strikeouts for Ryan. For the Phillies, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. And at the end of 6, Phillies lead Houston 2-1. Alan Ashby leads off. Ashby has grounded out, flied out to deep center. Dick Ruthven has given up only 2 hits. Pitched his way out of a bases-loaded jam in the 6th after giving up a pair of walks and a hit. He has walked 4. He struck out 4, and his biggest strikeout came on Art Howe with the bases jammed and 2 outs.
Of course, a good play by Boa last inning to keep that ball in the infield and save the tying run from scoring.
Here's the windup by Ruthven. Pitch on the way. Swing and a very high fly ball. Right center field. Bake McBride right there. Makes the catch. Ashby's out on 1 pitch. He just got under that ball. He had a good cut. But skied it in the air. 1 out. That'll bring on the shortstop, Craig Reynolds. He walked and scored Houston's run and fouled out to Greg Luzinski down the left field line. Phillies have bullpen activity. Kevin Sauché and Ron Reed are up. One out for Houston in their 7th inning. No base runners. Here's a pitch on the way, and it's a strike called at the knees.
Astros have their number 1 and number 2 relievers up out in the bullpen. Sambito, the left-hander, and Smith, the right-hander, with Ryan on deck.
1 strike to Craig Reynolds. One strike pitch on the way. Fastball fouled back up and over our heads. And it's 0-2 to Craig Reynolds. Ruthven looking down for the sign from Bob Boone. The 2-strike pitch. Swing, hard ground ball to Pete Rose. He has it to Ruthven covering just in time to get Reynolds. So Reynolds is out 2 down. Nolan Ryan takes his jacket off. And he is going to bat for himself, it looks like. Bill Verdon does this a lot with his pitchers. Forsch pitched a complete game last night. Although he was behind, he hit late. A good hitting pitcher. Ryan's not particularly a good hitting pitcher, but Verdon gives his starting pitchers a chance to win ball games. We can do it with J.R. Richard.
Surprised to see him do it in the playoffs, though. Right now, you know, the Houston Astros need a run, and even though there's 2 out, he has 2 good men in his bullpen, and you think he would hit for him here.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. 7th inning, trailing by a run.
Very surprised.
Here's a pitch on the way to Ryan. Slider missing low for a ball. Ryan is sacrificed and struck out.
You know he would have definitely hit for him if somebody had gotten on, but even with nobody on, it's surprising.
1-0 to Nolan Ryan. 2 outs and no base runners. 1-0 pitch on the way. Low, ball 2. It's 2-0. So Ruthven falls behind Nolan Ryan. He's batting just .086. Now Ruthven back on the rubber. The 2-0 pitch. Low, ball 3. He's behind Ryan 3-0. Ruthven thought that pitch was there, but Terry Tata said no. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Over for a called strike. It's 3-1 to Ryan.
Nolan Ryan upset on that. He thought the ball was low. The pitch before that might have been a strike. That ball was a very, very borderline strike.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a bouncing foul off the plate. It's a full count to Nolan Ryan with 2 outs and no base runners. Three and 2 to Ryan. 7th inning. Phillies lead it 2-1. Here's the 3-2 pitch. High, very high. Ball 4. He walked him. So Ruthven gives Ryan a 2-out walk. The 5th base on ball is given up by Ruthven, and Herm Starrett is going to come out and talk to the Phillies pitcher.
Well, remember what we mentioned last time when Terry Poole was up. 4 times in this series he's been up. 4 times he swung at the first pitch. I don't know whether they're thinking that, but they could be that Ruthven might just want to throw a strike right now and be a little bit aggravated after that walk to Ryan, and make sure you don't groove a pitch to a first ball hitter.
Pole's had 1 hit and 3 at-bats. One of Houston's 2 hits. He knocked in their lone run. Herm Starrett has had his say. He comes back to the dugout. Nolan Ryan, first base, 2 outs. Ruthven's had a good game, a low hit game, but a high walk game. 5 bases on balls. Here's the pitch to Poole. Fastball high and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Ron Reed and Kevin Sauché up in the Phillies bullpen. Here's the pitch. Change is a beauty for a called strike. It's 1-1 to Terry Poole. Now the stretch by Ruthven. 1-1 pitch. Another change is high and away for a ball. It's 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Terry Poole. Phillies lead 2-1, 7th inning. Here's Ruthven's stretch. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a line drive right field. McBride over. Can't get it off the tip of his glove. Nolan Ryan being waved around. Trio, a long relay throw, and Ryan is safe at home plate. It gets by Boone. Moving up to third base is Poole, and this is a 2-2 ball game. Just off the tip of Bake McBride's glove. He couldn't quite get it. Maddox hit Trio. Trio's relay throws strong, but down the first base side, and it skipped past Bob Boone. Give Poole a double, a run batted in, and we are tied at 2. So the 2-out walk to Nolan Ryan, really costing Dick Ruthven. And it's a 2-2 ball game. There'll be an error somewhere, I guess probably on Trio on the throw getting by Bob Boone, or maybe Poole going to third on the throw. At any rate, Poole is at third base with 2 outs, and the batter is Enos Cabell. He was grounded out and twice struck out.
Trio had a chance to throw out Nolan Ryan, but his relay throw was wide of the plate, and Boone just couldn't go over and get it. He got short-hopped on it.
Here's the pitch to Cabell. Breaking ball is over for a called strike. 1 strike to Enos Cabell. Tie game at 2. Only the third hit given up by Ruthven, but the bases on balls have come back to haunt him. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Another breaking ball. Popped in the air. Shallow right. Bake McBride there. Makes the catch. But Houston has tied it here in the 7th inning with 1 run on 1 hit. No Philly errors and 1 man left. We go to the bottom half of the 7th. Phillies 2, Houston 2. Now time for a tasty break. Well, we move to the bottom half of the 7th. It's a 2-2 ball game. And for more play-by-play, here again is Andy Musser.
Okay, Harry, thank you. And Larry Bowa will be leading it off for the Phillies, and Dick Ruthven is due to bat this inning. We'll have to wait and see whether the Phillies decide to go to a pinch hitter here in the 7th inning or not. A very costly walk issued by Ruthven has led to the tying run in this game, and it's 2-2. So Nolan Ryan, who a lot of people figured probably would be lifted for a pinch hitter, actually stayed in the ball game, drew the walk, and scored the tying run, and he's still out there. And he's now in a 2-2 tie as we go to the 7th inning. He will square off against Bowa.
That just shows you how strange this game is, because he just had to lift Nolan Ryan in that spot, and Ruthven winds up walking him. The ball goes off McBride's glove in right field, and then Trio had really a good shot at throwing Ryan out at the plate, kind of threw the ball wide, and it short-hopped Booney, and he had no chance to get him.
Bowa has struck out and lined out to left field tonight. Larry was 1 for 2 last night. Here's Ryan's pitch to him. Fly ball down the left field line. It's foul, and it's out of play into the picnic area. Strike 1 on Bowa. The Astros shade him the opposite way. And Cruz, the left fielder, did give chase on that ball. 1 strike on Bowa. Ryan into the windup. Here's the pitch to Larry. Swing and a line drive. Base hit to right field. Larry Bowa leads off the Phillies 7th with a solid single to right field. Hit number 7 for the Phillies.
Oh, the Phillies want to get him over to second base, and then they'll probably hit for Ruthven. Boone will be up there to bunt. And if he doesn't get the bunt down, they might try and hit and run, but it's ultimate priority right now to move that runner to second base.
Mooney has flied to right and grounded to short, but he probably won't get any swings here. At least not on the first couple of pitches. Tug McGraw is up in the bullpen.
This is a recording.
But it is also necessary.
Oh, yeah.
They would love to give Tug a night off, but the Phillies don't have the luxury of a 5-0 lead or anything even approaching that. It is a 2-2 game. The set by Ryan. Pitch on the way. Boone squares, drops a bunt, got it past the mound. It's going to be a hit. Everybody's safe. He hit that ball past the mound towards second base. Nobody could play it, and the Phillies have runners at first and second. Base hit for Boone on the bunt.
Well, Andy, it looked at first like he bunted it way too hard, that he was trying to get the base hit, and that it wasn't going to be a very good play, but Ryan didn't come up with the ball, went by. Reynolds backed up, prevented the ball from going to right field, and boy, the Phillies got a break on now. Now they're going to bring Greg Gross up as a pinch hitter, and he'll be up there to bunt.
He'll be trying to move both those runners along to get them to second and third with only 1 out for Rose and McBride. So Dick Ruthven is out of the ball game. Dick went 7 innings tonight. Still has a chance to be the winning pitcher if the Phillies can get a go-ahead run right here, and Greg Gross coming out of the dugout to bat. Greg delivered a pinch single last night to drive in the third and final Phil's run in the 3-1 victory. an ex-member of the Astros. They sent him on to the Chicago Cubs, and the Phillies acquired him from Chicago in the Manny Trio deal. First and second, nobody out. Gregg, a left-handed batter. Here's the stretch by Ryan. Pitch on the way to Gross. He takes it low, ball one. Gregg was around to bunt, but pulled back and takes it for a ball. Larry Bowa with good speed at second base. Bob Boone, the runner at first base. Nobody out. It's a 2-2 tie. Here's the pitch to Gross. Fastball is outside, 2-0. Joe Morgan walking in from second base to have a word with Nolan Ryan.
It'll be interesting to see what the Phillies do here. They could have Gross take this pitch because Ryan's gotten wild high all of a sudden. He's a difficult pitcher to also bunt on because he'll throw that high fastball and you have a tendency to pop that pitch up. 2-0. Might have him take another one. Gross is such a good bunter that he could spot him a strike.
Here's the set by Ryan. The 2-0 pitch. Bunt try. It goes foul. Gross offered at that one. Looked like it was a little bit outside, and he bunted it back foul behind the plate. 2-1 on Gregg. Second base. Bob Boone at first base with a bunt single. 2-1 on Gross. Here's the pitch. He bunts it. It's a beauty. Ryan fields, looks at third. No play. Throw to first in time. Bunt is good. Gross bunted it right in front of the mound. Ryan had a look at third, but realized right away he wouldn't have a chance, and he fired it over to Morgan, covering at first base.
Great job by Gregg Gross. Outstanding bunt in a pressure situation. Really deadened that ball, and Ryan had an idea about going to third. Here comes pitching coach Mel Wright out, Andy. They have a base open. Rose has been really hurting them. Left-handed batter Bake McBride on deck. They could walk him and bring Sambito in to pitch to McBride.
Rose tonight has been on base all three times. He walked and has 2 singles. And it looks like they're going to the bullpen right here. The pitching change is being made by the Astros right here. So we've got a pitching change at Veterans Stadium. It's a 2-2 ball game. We're in the 7th inning. We'll be back in just a moment. The left-hander Joe Sambito, the only left-hander on the Astro pitching staff, with 17 saves and a 2.20 earned run average coming in the ball game. Sambito won 8 and lost 4 during the regular season. He appeared in 64 ball games to lead the Houston staff. Sambito out of Brooklyn is 3-1 lifetime against the Phillies. And he's a good relief pitcher. He's had several outstanding years in the Astro bullpen.
And the crowd is yelling, Pete, 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 but there's no way he's going to get the hit off him. You're going to walk him right away and probably bring the infield out and pitch to Bake.
Sambito beat the Phillies twice this year.
Cedeno was in the dugout. He's just coming out. That's what the delay is.
Sambito 2-0 against the Phillies this year in 6 games in 6 1/3 innings. The Phillies did not get any runs off him. They got only 3 hits. So the hand goes up by Ashby. They're going to walk Rose as Wheels recommended. And they're going to take their chances with McBride. So for Pete, it'll mean his 4th consecutive trip on base. Rose walked to start the ball game by Nolan Ryan. Then he got 2 hits, a single to center and a single to left. So the Astros bring in the relief pitcher to issue the base on balls, and then they'll go to work on McBride. And it would be unlikely that the Phillies would use a pinch hitter for Bake. Let's pause here for station identification as Rose goes to first at the Phillies Baseball Network.
At 10:30, this is KYW Philadelphia News Radio in the Delaware Valley. AccuWeather says mostly clear tonight, low 50 at the moment, 63 degrees and clear on Independence Mall.
So the crowd really getting stirred up now. The Phillies and the Astros are in a 2-2 tie, but the Phillies have the bases loaded. There's 1 out. And here is Bake McBride, who is the hottest Philly of them all against Houston this year. He batted .420 against the Astros. The Astro infield is in for a play at the plate. The set by Zambito. Pitch on the way to Bake. He took a swing and missed. It was like a half swing by Bake. Strike one on McBride.
Nothing fancy about Joe Zambito. Fastball slider comes right at you.
Zambito plays tennis, writes, and eats right-handed, but he's a left-handed relief pitcher and a good one. The set. The one-strike pitch way outside and a diving stop by Ashby. That almost untied the game right there. McBride has flied to left, grounded to the mound, and grounded to first baseman Art Howe. A ball and a strike to Bake McBride. Astro infield is in all the way around. The left-hander stretches. The 1-1 pitch to Bake. Swing and a miss at a fastball on the outside corner, 1-2. The only out in the inning was the sacrifice by Gross. Larry Boa started it with a single to right. Boone was trying to bunt him over, but got the ball past the mound and wound up with a hit. Then the sacrifice, then the intentional walk to Rose. Here's the set. 1-2 pitch to McBride. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Bake McBride fans, and here comes Burden back out of the Astro dugout. Mike Schmidt is coming up, and I don't think Joe Zambito is going to pitch to him.
One batter is all Zambito was supposed to pitch. Of course, he walked Rose, but he was just coming in to do that. The batter he was to pitch to was Bake McBride. He did his job. Now, Smith has been an outstanding reliever for them. They're going to go to him right now, and Zambito did his job.
Dave Smith will come on to this ball game and pitch to Mike Schmidt. We've got another pitching change here at the Vet. We'll be back in just a moment. A 2-2 ball game. The Phillies have the bases loaded. There were 2 outs in the 7th inning, and Mike Schmidt coming to the plate, and the Astros are bringing on Dave Smith. Smith was 7-5 this year with a brilliant 1.92 earned run average. He had 10 saves. He throws very hard. He has a forkball, and there is a feeling that over the second half of the season, he was probably the Astros' best pitcher. Smith against the Phillies this year was in 3 ball games, did not win or lose any. His earned run average was 1.80. Here's Schmitty, who tonight is 1 out of 3 with a double and a run scored. Smith, a 25-year-old right-hander who hails from San Francisco. The stretch. Pitch on the way to Mike. Breaking ball is low and away, ball 1. Smith spent his younger years in San Diego, went to Poway High School, very near where Tug McGraw lived, and he attended San Diego State for 3 years. Astros signed him as a free agent. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball over for a strike, 1-1. Smith is 6'1", 190 pounds. Bases are loaded. 2 outs. 2-2 tie. Right-hander stretches. The pitch to Schmidt. Fastball up high. He lays off 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Schmidt. Astros led it 1-0. Phillies went ahead 2-1. Astros tied it in the 7th. Smith has the sign. The pitch to Schmidt. Fouled it away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike ripped that back into the upper deck. It's 2-2 on Schmidt. Smith does not like the baseball he got from Terry Tata and orders another one. Schmidt's double started the 4th inning for the Phillies when they got their 2 runs. Lozinski followed with a double to score him. A sacrifice and then an RBI single by Maddox to have the Phillies ahead 2-1 at the time. But as we say, the Astros tied it top half of this inning. Here's the stretch and the 2-2 pitch. Over for a called 3rd strike. Schmidt watches it go by, and he is out of there, and Smith gets out of the inning for the Astros. Phillies in the 7th. No runs, 2 hits, bases left loaded. And so at the end of 7 innings, it's a 2-2 tie. Listen to this roar for Tug McGraw as he comes in to take over for the Phillies. I don't have to tell you the McGraw story. He has been absolutely unbelievable. He has not given up a earned run since his first appearance in September. And he's been in a lot of ball games because he has been getting the job done, and Dallas Green keeps turning to him. Here, Tug comes in this ball game with a chance to be the pitcher of record as the Phillies and the Astros are in a 2-2 tie. He'll be in to face Joe Morgan, Jose Cruz, and Cedeno right here in the 8th inning.
Great job of managing by Bill Verdon, and a super job by his bullpen last inning as he uses a pitcher for a batter. He brings him in, lets him walk Rose, and he strikes out McBride. That's Zambito, and then that Dave Smith came in, and that was the forkball that he struck him out on. I thought it was that pitch. Heard a lot about that pitch from Phillies advance man Hugh Alexander, that he throws it very hard. It's the first one he threw to Schmidt, and it really dove and was a strike.
Tugger answering the call for the 2nd night in a row. He earned a save last night. He worked 2 innings and retired 6 of the 7 men who came to the plate, issuing only a walk to Luis Pujols in the 9th inning. McGraw's record during the regular season: 5 victories, 4 defeats, 1.47 earned run average, and 20 saves in 57 appearances. Here's Joe Morgan. He has twice walked tonight. First time up, he lined out to center field. We've got another nail-biter here at the vet. 2-2 8th inning. Tension just as taut as it was up in Montreal over the weekend. Here's the windup by Tug. Pitch on the way to the left-handed batter. Fastball is high, ball 1. Morgan finished up the series at Dodger Stadium going 0 for 13. Wrenched that left knee, and it isn't easy for him to dig in at the plate and take that full cut. He takes one on the outside corner, a called strike. Ball and a strike to Joe Morgan. So both teams have their 8th relief pitchers in the action now. Here's a ground ball, sharply hit, but foul wide of first, 1-2. A couple of fans fell out of the picnic area giving chase.
One guy went right on his nose. That had to hurt.
He staggers going back.
Really? I mean, he went out there hard.
Next pitch on the way to Morgan, outside, low and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Down to the crunch time in this ball game, top half of the 8th inning. Doug has his sign. Here's the 2-2 pitch. A drive to right field. Bake McBride back. He can't get it. That ball hits on the warning track. It'll be extra bases for Morgan. Here's the throw back to the infield, and Joe pulls into second with a stand-up double. Let's see if they pinch run for him, and they might. No, I don't think they're going to, as Lillis carries the shoe out to second base. Joe's been changing shoes every time he's gotten on tonight, and this is the 3rd time. He leads off the 8th inning with a double, ripped onto the warning track in right field.
He got a high breaking ball and stayed with it. He started to commit and then stayed back well and lined it. The ball was hooking the whole time, and the ball took off and went over McBride's head, and he had no play on it.
So the Astros have a potential go-ahead run at second base. Nobody out. And a couple of good hitters coming up in Cruz, Cedeno, and Howe. Phillies will be looking for a bunt here from Jose Cruz. He has twice been retired, and he has walked. Astros would love to get Morgan to third with only 1 out. The set by Tug. The pitch on the way, full swing and a miss at a breaking ball, strike 1. That'll give Schmidt and Rose some cause to think.
Really, it would appear there would be a bunt situation. But both were charging, and he took a wicked hack at that ball.
Tug sets. And the 1-strike pitch. Full swing, hard hit ball. Trio can't get it. It goes on through for a hit. Morgan is being waved around. He will score. Astros lead the game 3-2. Trio was drawn in on the right side, and that ball went zinging on through. It was hard hit, and the Astros have another lead. Jose Cruz has singled in the run. And that's the first time in a long time that Tug McGraw has given up an earned run. The positioning for the Phillies hurt him that time. That was a hard hit ball by Cruz, but had Trio been at normal depth, he probably would have played it. Still nobody out in the inning. Cruz at first base, and here's Cedeno. He's 1 for 3. The stretch by Tug. And the pitch on the way to Cedeno. Foul ripped off the plate, strike 1. Astros 3, Phillies 2, 8th inning. Phillies have more action in their bullpen now. Right-hander Ron Reed, left-hander Kevin Sauché throwing. The Astros have had only 5 hits tonight. They've really made them count. 3 runs and 5 hits. Cedeno, hard hit ground ball. Boa scoops it up. Flip to Trio. 1, back to first, double play. That was either going to be a hit or a double play. It was that hard hit. And Larry Boa ranged to his left and got it. Flipped the Trio, and they turned the double play.
Some kind of play by Boa. That ball was hit very hard, and it looked like a base hit. And he very quickly to his left. That's one of the better plays he's going to make in a situation that the Phillies really needed a play to try and head off the Astros and prevent him from getting a big inning.
Here's Art Howe. He's 0 for 3. Bases empty, 2 out, but the Astros lead it 3-2. Tug winds, pitch on the way to Howe on the inside corner, a called strike. Tug swings to the windup. Here's the pitch. A shot to Manny Trio. He plays it on a short hop, fires to first in time. Howe is retired, and the inning is over. But here in the 8th, the Astros get a go-ahead run on 2 hits. Nobody left on base. We go to the home 8th with Houston on top, 3-2. That baby is short. So it's an Astro lead of 3-2 as the Phillies bat in the 8th inning, and Greg Luzinski will lead it off against reliever Dave Smith. A lot of you probably don't know a whole lot about Dave Smith. He's not one of the household names in the National League, but he's had an outstanding year, particularly in the second half. First pitch to the bull is low, ball 1. Early in the year, Frank LaCourte was getting all the top right-handed assignments, and Zambito from the left side. 1-0 to the ball. Ground ball, base hit to left field. Greg Luzinski leads off the 8th inning with a single to left field. The tying run is aboard.
Temptation now is going to be to put in a pinch runner for him, but I don't know. They hate to take Luzinski's offense out of the game. But here comes Lonnie Smith, though.
Lonnie Smith coming out. He'll take over at first base. Greg Luzinski has delivered his second hit of the ball game. He doubled in a run in the 4th inning. He also scored a run. And now he will give way to Lonnie Smith. A defensive change for the Astros, by the way. Dave Bergman is their first baseman here in the 8th, replacing Art Howe. Here's Manny Trio at the plate. Manny sacrificed once tonight. And the Astros will be alert to it here.
They're looking for a bunt, but the Phillies would really like is for Smith to steal that base.
Throw over that way. Lonnie gets back. Lonnie Smith set a Phillies rookie record with 33 stolen bases during the season. He was caught 16 times. Quick throw over that way. Lonnie scampers back. Right-hander Frank LaCourte is up in the Astro bullpen. Zambito has already been used. Here's the pitch on the way to Trio. Squares to bunt, fouls it at the plate, strike 1. Bottom of the 8th inning. Astros 3, Phillies 2. Gary Maddox is on deck. Gary's swinging a pretty good bat these days. He singled in a run for the Phillies, which gave them the lead 2-1 in the 4th inning. The stretch by Smith. Pitch on the way to Trio. It's a pitch out. But Lonnie Smith was holding his ground, a ball and a strike.
Ashby thinking that the Phillies might try to steal the base after Trio fouls off the first bunt attempt, decided to pitch out, and luckily for the Phillies, Smith was not going.
Here's a throw to first. Lonnie just a little late in darting back. He stood frozen for just a moment and then dropped back to the bag. He wasn't that far off the base, but he didn't react immediately, and that was close. Here's the set. Pitch on the way to Trio. He drops the bunt. It's a beauty. Bergman fields, throws over to Morgan covering, and the sacrifice is good. Trio sacrifices for the second time, 3-4 on the sacrifice. And Lonnie Smith takes second with one away. So here's Gary Maddox. Gary 1 for 3, the RBI single in the fourth inning when the Phillies scored their only 2 runs of the night. Chris's fingernails are getting shorter.
Well, I'll tell you, what a season this has been, and it's gone right along the playoff. No doubt in my mind there was going to be a series like this. I heard all this sweep and bad team stuff. Houston Astros are a pretty good ball club, and they get great pitching, and this is a super series.
Here's the set by Smith. Pitch on the way to Maddox. Breaking ball, grounded down the third baseline, but just foul. Oh, that was just foul. A line hugger all the way to the bag, and then it just darted foul at the last moment. Wow.
Yeah, Smith got a pitch into Maddox that he sure didn't want to do. A tough call for Ed Vargo, and the ball was foul. A good call by him, and he got a lot of help from Cabell, the third baseman.
1 strike on Gary Maddox. Here's the next pitch to him. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes on Maddox. Lonnie Smith at second base. 1 out. Phillies down by a run. The set by Smith. The pitch to Maddox. He chased a high one and fouls it back to the screen. Gary swung at a pitch that was up around his neck. 0-2. Phillies have gotten their leadoff man on a whole lot of times tonight. Here's a pitch that just missed 1-2, including the last 2 innings. But they were unable to score in the 7th. Both teams left the bases loaded at a time tonight. Astros in the 6th, Phillies in the 7th. Here's the stretch. The 1-2 to Maddox. Breaking ball outside, 2-2 as Gary battles back from an 0-2 count. Stretch by Smith. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a bouncing foul toward third. Count remains at 2-2. Greg Luzinski started the inning with a solid single to left. He was replaced by pinch runner Lonnie Smith. First, the rosters are back to 25, as I'm sure you know, so the Phillies don't have the luxury of the extra hands that they enjoyed during that final month of the regular season. Here's the stretch. The 2-2 pitch. Line drive center field. It's in for a base hit. Smith is coming round. Here's Cedeno's throw. He slides. He's safe. Phillies tied the game. Maddox goes to second. Gary Maddox has delivered another big hit.
God, what a big hit by Gary Maddox. Been driving in all kinds of big runs for the Phillies in the month of September. He didn't hit this ball that good. He hit it on the end of the bat, but he lined it into center field. He moved up on the throw. What do you say? What a clutch hit.
2 runs batted in for Maddox tonight. Gary had a huge RBI in that 15-inning win over the Cubs, which set up the final week for the Phillies. Now, coming out of the Astro dugout, manager Bill Verdon, and walking slowly toward the mound, Larry Boa, the batter due. We mentioned earlier that the Astros have only one left-handed relief pitcher. That's Zambito. And Verdon already used him in a spot situation tonight to get Bake McBride, and he did. Burden just out of this case to deliver a message, and he's headed back to the dugout. There's only one out in the inning. It's a 3-3 tie, and Gary Maddox hustled into second base. That'll be a single for Gary and an RBI. He goes to second on the throw. They're going to walk Larry Boa and pitch to Bob Boone. They've got the base open here, so the intentional pass goes to Boa.
Very interesting strategy. Bill Burden trying to set up double play right now by walking Boa. Now, the outfielders, of course, play Larry pretty shallow, and it's tough for him to drive in a run, even with a base hit. But Burden has decided he's going to put him on and set up the force at every base.
Del Unser has grabbed a bat in the dugout, and he's parading back and forth, but he is not coming up in this situation. It'll be Boone and Tug McGraw due next. Booney is 1 for 3 tonight. He got his hit his last time up. It was a bunt single he was trying to sacrifice, and he shoved it past the mound and got a hit. Booney had a big hit on Saturday to tie the ball game and allow the Phillies to win in extra innings and nail down the Eastern title. The stretch by Smith, the pitch. It's over for a called strike.
Boy, Cesar Cedeno is really shallow in center field.
And he was on the hit by Maddox, too. I was worried for a time that ball might not fall in. And he certainly was shallow enough to uncork a throw to the plate, which he did. Here's the pitch to Bob, way outside, and a scrambling stop by Ashby. That's the second time tonight that Smith has almost thrown one away. One ball and one strike on Boone. First and second, only one out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul tip. Ashby catches it 1-2. Tug McGraw is in the on-deck circle, but if Boone does not get the run in, there's a good chance that Del Unser will be used. Here's the stretch. The 1-2 pitch to Boone. Swing and a miss. Foul tip. He struck him out. Boone fans for the second out of the inning. That's the second strikeout for Smith. And Del Unser is coming out. It'll be up to Del to bat here for Tug McGraw and try to get the lead run home. Phillies have tied it here in the bottom of the 8th. And Del Unser will come up. Del was in last night's ball game as a defensive replacement. He did not bat. During the season, Del hit .264, drove in 10 runs. This is the first time in his career that Unser has ever been in postseason play. He's really excited about it. Del is in his 13th big league year and 35 years of age, but he's never had this opportunity before. And here he is at the plate for the first time. Veteran left-handed batter. Here's the stretch by Smith. Pitch on the way to Unser. It misses outside, ball 1. Del had 2 hits and 9 at-bats during the regular season against the Astros. One of his hits was a triple. He knocked in 1 run. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Unser. Fly ball down the left field line. It's going to be playable. Getting over his Cruz. He's near the line. He takes it for the final out of the inning. Del Unser retired on the fly ball to left. The Phillies have tied it here in the 8th inning. They get the tying run on 2 hits. They leave 2 men on base. So we go to the 9th inning, and it's 3-3. The Phillies got the tying run home in the bottom half of the 8th inning, but they were unable to take the lead, and so we're in a nail-biter at 3-3. And we go to the 9th inning, and Ron Reed will work on Alan Ashby, Craig Reynolds, and we'll see how it goes. Dave Smith will be due to bat after that. Reed was 7-5 for the 1980 Phillies with a 4.05 earned run average and 9 saves in 55 games. Here's Ashby up there as a left-handed batter, and the pitch to him is a check swing foul off the third base side, a strike. Reed lost a game to the Astros this year. Pitched against them only twice. His earned run average was 1.80. Ron worked 5 innings, gave up 3 hits and 1 run against Houston. Swing and a bouncing ball towards second base. Trio has it. Flipped to first base. Ashby is out. Here's the left-handed batting shortstop, Craig Reynolds. Craig is 0 for 2 with a walk, scored the first run for Houston.
Dave Smith, as Andy mentioned, the third batter due up this inning. Nobody in the on-deck circle yet, and LaCourte is warming up. They have 3 good relief pitchers on this team. In LaCourte, and we've already seen Dave Smith, who gave up a run but got out of a big jam. And, of course, Zambito struck out McBride with the bases loaded for a big out. And that's another reason why they've won so many games.
1 out, bases empty. Here's Reynolds at the plate. Nobody is in the on-deck circle right now. We'll let you know when it is occupied. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball is outside, ball 1. And Smith is coming out. Doesn't mean he's going to hit. We've had another nail-biter tonight. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a hard-hit ground ball, but right to Trio. He's got it, throw to first in time. That was a kind of a strangely hopping ball. Trio stayed with it. And Smith has gone back from the on-deck circle, and let's see who's going to hit. Doesn't look like it's going to be Smith. Two down, bases empty, and the Astros are going to send up a pinch hitter for their relief pitcher, Dave Smith.
They got a left-handed batter, Danny Heap, who is available. We can't see, of course.
And Denny Walling as well, and they're going to bring out Leonard. Right-handed batter, Jeff Leonard, will be used here with 2 down in the inning. The kid from Overbrook High. Leonard did not have a particularly good year for the Astros this year. After a fine rookie season, he slumped this year and batted .214, knocked in 20 runs. Two out, bases empty, and Jeff Leonard will come up. Phillies better try to get one in the bottom of the 9th. The Astros will be at the top of their order right after Leonard. Here's the windup by Reed. Pitch on the way to the right-handed batter. Swing and a foul, and it knocked Booney to the ground. Booney stunned by that foul ball as it hit off him. Trickled over toward the Phillies dugout. Leonard batted .286 against the Phillies this year. 6 hits and 21 at-bats. He had 1 extra base hit. It was a triple, and he knocked in 1 run. Next pitch on the way to Leonard. Fastball on the inside corner, a called strike. Reed gets the jump on Leonard, 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch, low and inside, ball 1. 1-2 to Jeff Leonard. Jeff, 25 years of age, won the Pacific Coast League Bat Championship in '78. He checks his swing, but takes it over for a called strike. Reed blows him away, and the Astros are out in order in the 9th inning. So we go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. This game tied 3-3. Right-hander Frank LaCourte is going to be the new pitcher for the Astros as we go to the bottom half of the 9th inning of a 3-3 tie. LaCourte, a third outstanding reliever for the Astros. Let's look at the saves out of their bullpen. Zambito with 17, LaCourte with 11, and Smith with 10. And all of them had good earned run averages, too. Of the 3, LaCourte's is the highest, 2.82, but that's not bad. And Frank won 8 and lost 5, appearing in 55 ball games.
That team ERA there is right around a 3, and that's what they've given up tonight. Hugh Alexander was telling me the other day that they try to beat you 4-3, hold you to 3, and score 4.
Frank LaCourte is from San Jose, California. He was previously with the Atlanta Braves, and he got his first major league win right here at Veterans Stadium when he beat the Phillies on August 12th of 1976. He was not a drafted player. He was signed by the Braves as a free agent in '72, and they traded him on to the Astros a year ago. Phillies are at the top of their lineup here in the 9th inning. It'll be Pete Rose, who has been on base all 4 times tonight. He has 2 hits. He's been walked twice, once intentionally. Phillies 3, Astros 3, bottom of the 9th. LaCourty is 1-3 lifetime against the Phillies. He throws hard. He can be wild at times. Big swing and a miss by Rose, strike one.
He looked like he's trying to hit that ball out of the park then.
Rose had only one home run this year. Next pitch on the way to Pete. Hit well to center field. Cedeno's going to have to race back, but he's there, and he catches it for the out. He's only about 10 feet shy of the warning track in left center. Rose gave it a good ride. He is out for the first time tonight. One away in the ninth inning. And here's Bake McBride. Bake has a collar and 4 trips tonight. The Astros used a pitcher just to get Bake out in the 7th inning as they brought in Sampito, and he did the job. He struck him out. Here's the windup and the pitch on the way to Bake. High, ball one. Astros scored a go-ahead run top of the 8th. Phillies wouldn't let them have it. They scored right back in the bottom of the 8th. The 1-0 to Bake. High pop foul coming back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike on McBride. LaCourty is 6'1", 180 pounds, 28 years of age. The right-hander winds, and the 1-1 pitch to Bake, very high, ball 2, 2-1.
He used to have a lot of control problems. He's very much like D'Acquisto when he first came up, but he's really settled down. He has a good hard breaking ball to go with that fastball, and he's developed into an excellent relief pitcher.
He winds, the 2-1 pitch to McBride, swing and a miss at a high fastball. Bake chased a high one, 2-2. Mike Schmidt is on deck. Here's the windup. The 2-2 pitch to Bake. Hard ground ball. Base hit to right field. Bake McBride grounds it in a big hole between Morgan and Bergman. And the Phillies have a runner with 1 down in the 9th inning. Bake gets his first hit of the ball game and second of the series. So Mike Schmidt will come to the plate with McBride at first and 1 away. Schmidt is 1 for 4 tonight, a double in the 4th inning, and he scored a run. That double that Schmidt got was off the right field fence. It missed being a home run by about 2.5 feet. Lonnie Smith is on deck. Oh, the Phillies have kept the pressure on tonight. They have had hits in every inning since the 3rd. Pitch on the way to Schmidt. Breaking ball is over for a called strike. He gave him that looping curveball.
Good breaking ball he has. It's a good hard breaking ball, and it's the first one he's thrown. Rose had all fastballs, McBride had all fastballs, and Schmidt is the first hitter to see that thing.
The Astros have been giving Schmidt a steady diet of breaking pitches. The stretch. Here's the 1-strike delivery, high and tight. It backs him off the plate. Mike has had 7 home runs in the 9th inning during this season. Here's the set by Smith. The 1-1 pitch to Schmidt. Swinging a ground ball. Base hit to center field. McBride will have to stop at second base. A solid single right between the shortstop Reynolds and the second base. And the Phillies have runners at first and second with 1 down for Lonnie Smith. The Phillies have really kept the pressure on tonight. They haven't had any home runs, but they have amassed 12 hits in this ball game to only 5 for Houston.
Lonnie Smith will get his first at-bat in championship series play, and what a spot for him. He ran, of course, for Lazinski and scored the tying run last inning.
Smith batted .339 during the regular season with 3 home runs and 20 runs batted in. Crowd really cheering for Lonnie. First and second, 1 out. Pitch on the way to Smith. Half swing, and he missed it. It's a strike. Lonnie just kind of checked and took that pitch. Strike 1. Fake McBride, pretty good speed at second base. Mike Schmidt, the runner at first. Excellent men on the bases. Here's the set by LaCourte. The pitch on the way to Smith, way inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's a tie ball game, 3-3, bottom of the 9th inning. Key hit wins it right here. Here's the set by LaCourte. The 1-1 pitch. Little bit low. That was his sharp breaking ball, and he missed with it. 2-1. Joe Morgan calling time. He'll come in and have a word here with Frank LaCourte.
I ran into a bunch of people today and last night who said last night's game was boring, that they didn't like it, that it wasn't interesting. This one makes up for it if you didn't like it.
I'll tell you the truth, over the first 6 or 7 innings, I thought last night's game was better than this one.
It was an excellent game last night, but this is a dandy tonight.
From the middle of the game on, yes. Here's the set by LaCourte. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Lonnie had a late swing at a very high pitch. He chased a bad one. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Smith. Still only 1 out in the inning. Manny Trio waiting on deck. LaCourte at the belt. 2-2 pitch. High ball 3. A full count on Lonnie Smith. He came into the game as a pinch runner last inning, scored the tying run, remained in a play in left field.
I don't think they'll start the runners.
Here's the stretch. The pitch, foul back. They were not going. Lonnie just got a piece of that, fouled it back to the cement.
It's too much pressure to put on him to start the runners. With a rookie up, you just don't want to do that. Plus, you still have another shot with Manny Trio on deck. You just don't want to get a strikeout double play in this situation.
Right. Plus, a solid hit probably scores the run anyway. This crowd really frantic now. Here's the stretch. 3-2 pitch. They're gone this time. He fouled it back. At least Bake was going. Schmitty at first held his ground, but McBride was running.
Somebody missed a sign. But Schmidt's looking at Ruben Amaro. He didn't get it. McBride went. Only one of them was going.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Smith. LaCourte has his sign from Ashby. Here's the 3-2 pitch, fouled away. Neither was going that time. This foul reaches the upper deck. Lonnie Smith is really battling Frank LaCourte. What pressure on a kid who has never appeared in a playoff game before. The stretch. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled away again. Another upper deck job. And Pete Rose really cheering on Lonnie Smith from the dugout as a new supply of baseballs is presented to home plate umpire Tata.
Well, he's giving him a tough at bat no matter what happens, and that's what his teammates are roaring about in the dugout for him.
Here's the stretch. 3-2 pitch. Fouled away again. Almost the same spot. Caught by a fan in the first row of the upper deck, 500 level. Well, our old friend and former Philly broadcaster By Sam is here at the game tonight, and By is seeing a dandy. Here's the stretch. 3-2 pitch. Pop foul out of play. He went for ball 4 that time.
You know, Lonnie struck out in that game against Montreal. And you can tell he just is not going to, he just doesn't want to stand there and take a strike 3 call. Some of those pitches are borderline. That one was out of the strike zone, but like I said before, what a tough at bat he's given LaCourte.
He is really making LaCourte work. This crowd ready to see it happen. Here's the stretch. The 3-2 pitch. Looper to right field. It's falling quickly. It is in for a hit. Fake McBride stopped. Now he has to hold on. Bases loaded. Fake McBride stopped at third base. He didn't know it was going to fall. The bases are loaded on the Texas League single to right field.
Oh, wow. What a game. Fake McBride. It looked like he was going to catch that ball, pull all the way. And McBride just couldn't get doubled off second with that winning run. He could only go halfway. And the ball came right up to Terry Poole. It came right up to him, and he had no chance to score, and it was wise for him to stay there. I want to tell you, Andy, this is something.
Here's the pitching coach, Mel Wright. out to talk to Frank LaCourte right now. He's not going to make a change. They've used their other top relievers, and they've got their best remaining pitcher in the ball game. We are in the bottom of the ninth. It is a 3-3 game. The Phillies have the bases loaded, and there is only one out, and Manny Trio and Gary Maddox will get the chances.
Astros have to bring everybody in now. Bring the infield up and the outfield up.
You know, the Phillies have won a couple of games this year just like this. So here's that infield staring down Trio's throat. They're right around the lip. That outfield is very shallow. Trio tonight, 1 for 2 with a pair of sacrifices. The pitch to him, swinging a foul back, strike one. Manny singled in the 6th inning, a solid shot to left field. In his first at bat, he grounded out. The other 2 times, he dropped perfect sacrifice bunts. LaCourte is working from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Trio. Inside, ball 1. It almost hit him. That ball nearly hit him, and if it had, the game would be over. One ball and 1 strike on Manny Trio, who has made all the defensive plays. Here's the set. The pitch, foul back, just hits the top of the screen, 1-2. Manny hanging tough, a ball and 2 strikes on him. Astros trying to get out of a tremendous jam. Oddly enough, Pete Rose flied out to start the inning, but then McBride singled. Schmidt singled. And Lonnie Smith dropped a pop single into right field, and Bake couldn't score. Frank LaCourte cuts the tension a little bit by walking out behind the mound to rub up a new baseball. This is pressure for LaCourte. He's never been in a playoff before. Here's the stretch. The 1-2 to Trio. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a neck-high fastball. Trio fans, and that's the 2nd out of the inning, and so it's up to Gary Maddox. Gary delivered a single in his last at-bat to tie the ball game. Maddox has had 2 RBI singles tonight. Can he do it again?
Well, LaCourte got Manny Trio to chase a very bad pitch way up in the strike zone, and he went after it, and now he's in a situation that the Astros like. They can pick everybody back again.
So here's Gary Maddox, 2 out of 4. Maddox is batting .429 in championship play this year. They're asking a lot of Gary right here. He has come through twice tonight. How about once more? Here's the set by LaCourte. Pitch on the way to Maddox. It's popped up. A mile high, wide of first base. Bergman is over. He waits. He takes it for the out, and we go extra innings. The Phillies leave them loaded. In the bottom half of the 9th inning, they can't get the run across. No runs, 3 hits, and 3 men left on base. We go to the 10th. It's tie 3-3. We are going extra innings at Veterans Stadium tonight. Phillies played a whole lot of extra inning games down the stretch of the season, and here they are in an extra inning ball game in postseason play, a 3-3 tie. A little bit of frustration reigning here right now with the Phillies unable to get the go-ahead and winning run across there in the 9th inning. And the totals on the board are unusual tonight. 3 runs and 13 hits for the Phillies. 3 runs and 5 hits for the Astros. And now Ron Reed has his work cut out for him because Houston is at the top of its lineup here in the 10th inning. That's Terry Poole to lead it off, tough left-handed batter. Reed retired the Astros in the 9th, the only inning that he worked.
Phillies have to guard against now as a natural letdown in this situation because that was a tremendous job that LaCourte did to get out of that inning, but the Phillies are still the home team with the last at-bat.
Here's the pitch on the way to Poole. He bluffs a bunt, takes outside, ball 1. Poole has knocked in runs twice tonight. RBI single in the 3rd to give the Astros a 1-0 start. And then a double in the 7th inning to give them a lead. Here's a line drive, right field. Make McBride over to field and on a hop and hold him to a single. Terry Poole singles to right field, his 3rd hit of the ball game. So the Astros have their lead man on in the 10th inning. Only the 6th hit of the game for the Astros. Here is Enos Cabell. Phillies get their bullpen up again now. Dickie Knowles is working. Kevin Sauché is also up and throwing. Cabell is 0 for 4 tonight.
Phil's a look for a bunt from Cabell.
The set by Reed. Throw to first base. Not in time to get Poole. So the ballpark, which was jumping a moment ago, now sounds like we're in about a 1 a.m. rain delay. You don't hear anything. Here's another throw to first. Poole is back in time. Crowd is emotionally drained as well. Here's the stretch. Pitch on the way to Cabell. Bunt popped in the air. Rose giving chase. He dives. He can't quite get it. Rose wound up on his nose right in front of the Phillies dugout. A diving effort by Rose, but he couldn't quite get there.
Unbelievable. What an unbelievable effort by Rose. It really jarred himself. He changed direction, went after that thing, and just missed it.
Astros 9-7 in extra inning games this year, and the Phillies were 13-9. 1 strike the count on Cabell. Phillies almost got a break out of that. What an effort by Rose. He was coming down the line and had to turn hard to his left and then dive. Here's the stretch. The 1-strike pitch. Bunted in the air again, but lands in front of Rose. Tags Cabell out in the baseline. The sacrifice is good. 3 unassisted on the sacrifice. Second time Rose has made that play tonight. And Terry Poole is at second base with 1 out. Joe Morgan, the batter. Morgan has been on base his last 3 times with a pair of walks and a double. The first time up tonight he lined out, so Joe officially 1 for 2, a double and a run scored. Stretch by Reed. They're going to go ahead and give Morgan the walk with an extra base open here.
Only play. Joe Morgan, such a clutch hitter. He got a big hit already tonight. And with the base open, you're going to walk him in this situation. Don't let him beat you. The guy behind him is a heck of a hitter also, Jose Cruz, but at least it sets up the potential for a double play. Cruz is tough to double because he runs very well.
There's ball 4 to Morgan. He takes first. There's 1 out on the inning. And that'll bring to the plate Cruz, who was the Astro RBI leader this year with 91, and that represented the career high for him. Tonight, Cruz is 1 for 3, and he's singled in a run.
Morgan's down there taking that shoe off again.
Cruz 1 for 3 with a walk. Can't believe how quiet it is here at the ballpark. It's like everybody went home. Actually, very few people have left. They are just emotionally spent after the Phillies' 8th and 9th innings. Here's the set by Reed. Pitch on the way to Cruz, way inside, a ball. Phillies almost won the game when a LaCourte pitch just about hit Manny Trio with the bases loaded. It almost got him on the leg. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Low ball 2, 2-0 to Cruz. That, of course, is the only trouble with the intentional pass. Here's the set. The 2-0 pitch on the outside corner, a fastball called strike 1, 2-1. Cedeno is on deck. Astros and Phillies tied 3-3 in Game 2 of the League Championship Series. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball low. Ball 3, 3-1. Here's the set by Reed. The 3-1 pitch. Bouncing ball right side. It's going to go through for a base hit. Being waved around is Terry Poole. Here's the throw. Comes to the plate. Not in time. Run scores. Ball gets by. Backed up by Reed. Runners move up a base. Astros lead the ball game 4-3. They've got runners at second and third.
Well, not only did the Phillies give up the run, but the bad throw to home plate bounces away from Boone, and they set up a couple more. They're going to have to walk Cedeno now and play the infield out, and they're in all kinds of trouble after that. You could almost feel it coming after they didn't get that run last inning. The natural tendency is to let down, and it's just one of those things, and that's what's happened right now.
So the Phillies bring their infield in all the way around. Cedeno is at the plate. He'll get a pass, I'm sure. Bake McBride is going to get an error on the play. First error of the game for the Phillies. That error allowing the runners to take an extra base. Cruz has knocked in 2 runs for the Astros tonight, and Poole has knocked in 2. They are not going to walk Cedeno. He swings and fouls off the first pitch. One strike on Cedeno. He is 1 for 4 tonight. Infield hit. That hit was a shot to the hole that Boa saved from going through, and that saved a run at the time. Time is called now. Morgan, the runner at third, walking off the base paths toward the dugout. Maybe he wants his other shoe back.
I think he wants them to put a runner in for him.
It'll probably be Landistoi if they do, because he would be able to stay in and play the bag. But let's see who comes out of the dugout. Astros lead at 4-3. We're in the 10th inning. I don't know, maybe Morgan is just... no, here comes Landistoi. Rafael Landistoi will come in and run for Morgan. Landistoi will take over at third, undoubtedly remain in the ball game to play at second base. Now Cedeno tires of waiting for Reed and walks back to the on-deck circle.
He's tired of waiting for Landistoi, who's running up and down the foul line.
Now Cedeno getting back in. 1 strike to count on Cesar. Astros at second and third. There's still only 1 out in the inning, and the Astros have a 4-3 lead. Phillies have to try to keep it to that. Pitch on the way to Cedeno. It was a pitch out. They were looking for a suicide squeeze. Here's the stretch by Reed. 1-1 pitch to Cedeno. Fastball is high. Let's pause for station identification. Oh, they rung him up. They ruled that he went around. He was trying to get out of the way, and he went around. We better hold on our station break now. That'll be a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Cedeno. We'll get it in just a moment. He tried to check, but in so doing and ducking away from the pitch, the bat went around. Phillies infield is in tight. Well, we could have done a station break after all. Here's the set by Reed. 1-2 pitch to Cedeno. Check swing foul ball to the Phillies dugout. This is the Phillies Baseball Network.
This is KYW Philadelphia here at 11:34. AccuWeather says mostly clear tonight, low 50. Tomorrow, bright sunshine with a high 68.
Still a ball and 2 strikes to Cedeno. The Astros have forced a run across here in the 10th inning to lead this game 4-3. Still only 1 out. Astros at second and third. Pitch to Cedeno, low and inside. Again, he had a kind of a half or quarter swing at it, but this one's a ball, 2-2. Landistoi pinch running at third. Cruz, the runner at second. He delivered the big hit. Twice tonight, Cruz has singled to put the Astros on top. The 2-2 to Cedeno. Bouncing ball past the mound. Boa Fields comes to the plate. Safe. A run scores. Everybody's safe. Astros lead it by a 5-3 score. Landistoi beat the throw from Boa, even though the infield was in.
Yeah, that ball was hit very softly to Boa, and that's what happened. Morgan took himself out of the game. Good play by Morgan. He doesn't feel like he's running very well. He wants a quicker runner in there for that important run. And Landistoi runs for him and scores. That's good play by Morgan to get himself out of the game.
Cedeno gets a run batted in. There's no hit. It's a fielder's choice. Dallas Green is making his way toward the mound. He wants Kevin Sauché in this ball game. The Astros have gone up by 2 runs. We've got a pitching change at Veterans Stadium. We'll be back in just a moment. Left-hander Kevin Sauché gets the call for the Phillies. Kevin was 7-3 during the year in 40 games. Earned run average of 3.42. Sauché will be in to pitch to the left-handed batting Dave Bergman. The Astros have done major damage to the Phillies here in the 10th inning as they've gotten 2 runs. Cruz singled in 1. Cedeno drives in the other with a bouncing ball to shortstop, scored as a fielder's choice, and Landistoi was able to beat Boa's relay to the plate. Bergman will be batting for the first time in the game. Bergman hit .256 for the Astros this year, drove in only 3 runs. He didn't get all that many plate appearances. He had 20 hits and 78 at-bats. The left-handed batting Dave Bergman. Against the Phillies, he went 1 for 6. Astros at first and second. There's 1 out. Here's Sauché's pitch to Bergman. Backs him off the plate. Ball 1. It was touch and go there for a while whether Sauché was going to be eligible for postseason play this year. Here's the pitch on the way. High, a ball, 2-0. He was on the disabled list on the 1st of September, and the Phillies dropped Randy Lurch from their active squad to make room for Kevin. The set by the left-hander. And the 2-0 pitch to Bergman. Drive into the alley in right center field. It's going to find a huge hole. Coming on around to score will be Cruz. Right behind him is Cedeno. He's going to come in. Here goes Bergman heading for third. He has a 2-run triple, and the Astros have busted it open. It's a 7-3 lead for Houston. Bergman triples into the alley in right center field, and the fans are starting to leave the ballpark now as the Astros have had a 4-run 10th inning. Boy, did that ball find open spaces. Those runs are both charged to Ron Reed. Here is Alan Ashby. He's up there batting from the right side for the first time tonight, and he takes low, ball 1. Ashby is 0 for 4 in the game. The Phillies infield is in all the way around now. They got to try to prevent this one. Next pitch on the way to Ashby. Breaking ball, low and inside, 2-0. Phillies just could not make use of their hits tonight. They had 13 of them, but they were able to score just 3 runs. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a bouncing ball. Schmidt's got it. Bergman will hold at third, throw to first in time for the second out. Ashby bounces out to Schmidt for out number 2. The defense will go back to normal depth as Craig Reynolds bats. They're going to walk Craig Reynolds. That'll bring Frank LaCourte to the plate, and with a 4-run lead, you know that Bill Verdon is not going to take him out of there, so the Phillies issuing 1 intentional walk that seems almost certain not to hurt them. The one to Joe Morgan didn't help too much.
Sauché has Boone jumping all over the place back there on this intentional walk. He's almost thrown 2 pitches away.
And there's the 4th one. So the Astros have runners at first and third, and Frank LaCourte will come to the plate. LaCourte went 1 for 6 as a batter for the Astros this year, 167. He batted in 1 run. The Astros with a 4-run 10th inning. They've scored more runs here in this inning than they have in the entire first 2 ball games, regular edition. LaCourte takes outside a ball. They only scored 3 runs in the first 9 innings tonight. They only scored 1 run last night. Swing and a miss by LaCourte. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's a right-handed batter. Here's the set by Sauché. And the 1-1 pitch to LaCourte. Here's a high bouncer toward third base. Scooped up on a short hop by Schmidt. Throw to first in time. LaCourte is out. And the inning is over, but major damage has been done for the Astros. 4 runs. There were 3 hits in the inning. There was 1 error. It didn't figure in the scoring. And there were 2 men left on base. We're in the middle of the 10th inning. The Astros lead it 7-3. So it'll be Larry Boa, Bob Boone, and a pinch hitter for Kevin Sauché here in the 10th inning for the Phillies. No question about the fact that momentum will swing in this series if the Phillies drop this one tonight, because you ask any visiting team, and the Phillies have been in this situation themselves, when you go on the road in a series like this, sure, you'd like to win them both, but you'll be very, very happy to win one of 2, and the Astros are 3 outs away from doing that. Here's Boa, 1 for 3 with an intentional walk. Frank LaCourte has given up 3 hits, but the Phillies have not scored on this right-hander. Here's the pitch. High, ball 1. LaCourte took over at the start of the 9th inning. The 1-0 to Boa. Fastball is over for a strike. He's got some margin to work with now. He leads at 7-3. The 1-1 pitch to Boa. Fastball is high and away, 2-1. Off day tomorrow. Larry Christensen faces Joe Niekro at the Dome on Friday afternoon. That'll be a 3 o'clock start, Philadelphia time. 2-1 pitch to Boa. Swing and a foul back, 2-2. Boa leading off the 10th inning for the Phillies. And the 2-2 pitch. High bouncer off the plate toward first. Bergman charges. Flip it over to LaCourte. And safe at first is Boa. Boa beats it out. A high chop off the plate. Bergman gave LaCourte a backhanded flip, but Boa beat him to the bag. Infield hit for Larry.
Just such an example. Something we were talking about the other day with some of the players is how many times it happens, as what happened to the Phillies last inning when the Astros were batting. The 1 run scores, and then somebody makes a foolish play, and more runs score after that. You set up other runs. When you're at home and it's a 1-run game, there's still so many things that could happen, and that happened again tonight.
Here's Boone at the plate with George Vukovich in the on-deck circle to bat for Sauché. Pitch on the way to Boone, low and inside, ball 1. Bob is 1 for 4 tonight. It was a bunt single. He was trying to sacrifice in that situation, but got the ball past the pitcher, Nolan Ryan, and got a hit. Here's the stretch. Pitch on the way to Boone. Fastball is inside. Bob has to jump back, 2-0. LaCourte all of a sudden doesn't look very sharp right now.
He has a reputation for getting wild, and that's what I meant about being in a 1-run game with him. But it's not a 1-run game. It's a 4-run game.
LaCourte wants a new baseball. Here's Cabell trotting in from third to have a word with his pitcher. The Astros are not known for scoring runs in bunches. For them, a 4-run inning is an uprising. Joaquin Andujar is warming up in the Astro bullpen just in case LaCourte can't put the finishing touch on it. Pitch to Boone, inside, ball 3. And here comes Mel Wright, the pitching coach, out of the dugout. He didn't like the looks of this. Sure, they have a 4-run lead, but things can turn in a hurry. So Mel Wright walks to the mound. Andujar is a middle-inning relief pitcher. They don't want to really bring him in here to try to nail it down, but if LaCourte can't get the ball over the plate, they'll do it.
Well, of course, they've used up Sambito and Smith, their 2 best, and LaCourte is in there now. But with a 4-run lead, he has to be driving the Astros crazy right now with the way he's pitching.
Wright goes back to the dugout. Here's the pitch on the way to Boone. Inside, ball 4. He walked him. Well, you know, that wasn't what they told him to do. So the Phillies have runners at first and second, and George Vukovich will bat. Nobody out. Bottom half of the 10th inning. One more guy gets on, and the tying run comes to the plate.
wild as he was to Bob Boone, George Vukovich should be up there and not swing the bat until he throws at least one strike.
Vukovich, the rookie outfielder who spent the entire season with the Phillies this year, was used almost exclusively as a pinch hitter. He batted .224 with 13 hits. Here's the pitch on the way to the left-handed batter. Outside, ball one. How much patience does Bill Verdon have? Here's the stretch. Pitch on the way. Outside, ball two. Here he comes. That's it. The question has just been answered. 2 pitches was all the patience he had. And LaCourte will leave the ball game. We've got a pitching change at Veterans Stadium. We'll be back in just a moment. Joaquin Andujar will be brought in to try to finish it out, a situation which he is not accustomed to doing. He did have 2 saves this year, but he is normally a middle inning pitcher. In fact, he is a spot starter for them. They used him 14 times as a starter. He appeared in 35 ball games. The right-hander won 3 and lost 8. His earned run average was 3.94. So LaCourte, who stands to be the winning pitcher, nevertheless lost the plate here in the 10th inning. Larry Boa beat out an infield hit. He walked Boone. He has fallen behind pinch hitter George Vukovich 2-0. And so Andujar's coming on. Wills?
Andujar has had a strange season, too. He's been the center of controversy a lot in Houston because Billy Verdon wouldn't use him. He's a very hot-tempered, emotional player, and he's a good pitcher. He has good stuff, but he has a tendency to blow sky high sometimes, and they just haven't used him. There, of course, were rumors he was going to come to Philadelphia in June, and that didn't happen. But we'll see what he can do now. Vukovich up there 2-0, and he's not going to swing the bat until this guy throws a strike.
Boa at second, Boone at first, nobody out, but the Astros lead it 7-3, 10th inning. 2 balls and no strikes on Vukovich. Should he be walked, that walk would be charged to LaCourte. Here's the stretch. Andujar's first pitch. It's over for a called strike, 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike on the left-handed batting pinch hitter George Vukovich. He's up there for Soche. Here's the stretch. The 2-1 pitch. Fly ball left field. Cruz should have this one without any trouble. Moving toward the line, he takes it for the out. Andujar gets Vukovich to fly out to left field. That's 1 down. And here is Pete Rose. Rose is 2 out of 3 tonight. He was also walked twice, once intentionally. Both of Pete's hits were singles. First and second, 1 away. The Phillies trail it 7-3. Greg Reynolds has come in and said something to Andujar. Andujar is from the Dominican Republic, 27 years of age. 2-4 lifetime against the Phillies. He stretches. Pitch on the way to Rose, runs up to bunt and takes it for a strike. Andujar was signed by the Cincinnati Reds. Spent 6 years in the minor leagues before he finally got to the majors. 1977, he was selected for the National League All-Star game, but he couldn't appear because of a hamstring injury. The 1-strike pitch to Rose, pop foul out of play. So Andujar and Rose were teammates at one point. Two years ago, or actually last year, I should say, in the '79 season, Andujar was 5-1 and was named pitcher of the month in June, and a 1.59 earned run average that month. He's ahead of Rose, no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the stretch. And the pitch to Pete, bouncing ball past the mound, charged by Landesteaux, flipped to Reynolds, 1, back to first. It bounces past Bergman, and Larry Boa will score on the play. Phillies get a run out of it. The Astros also got an out of it, and it is a 7-4 ball game. Larry Joey Boa scores the fourth Phillies run, but the Astros are still up by 3, 2 down in the inning. There will be an error charged to Reynolds. There is no run batted in. Rose is at second base.
Just saw a graphic on television monitor here that this is the longest championship series game as far as time goes. Well over 3 hours.
Here is Bake McBride. Bake is 1 for 5 tonight. Phillies down to their last out. Pitch on the way to Bake. A little bit low, ball 1. Ashby wanted that pitch and didn't get it. Rose is not credited with a run batted in. Here's the pitch on the way to McBride. Low, ball 2, 2-0.
Well, what the crowd senses and what everybody wants Bake to do is get on base, and that would bring Mike Schmidt up, representing the potential tying run.
And Schmidt would be up there thinking one thing. Here's the set by Andujar. The 2-0 pitch. Low, ball 3. One of the great things about baseball is that there is no clock. Time doesn't run out on you unless those outs are recorded. And the Phillies still have one. 3 balls and no strikes on Bake. He'll be looking. Here's the stretch. Pitch on the way. High! Oh, my goodness, he called it a strike. It was right at the letters. I thought it was above the letters. He called it a strike. 3-1. 3 balls and a strike on Bake. Sorry, I was doing a little umpiring there. You shouldn't do that. Here's the set by Andujar. Here's the pitch. Low, ball 4. So the Phillies do bring the tying run to the plate in Mike Schmidt. Schmidt tonight, 2 out of 5. A double and a single and a run scored. Are the Phillies out of miracles, or is there one left deep in that bag somewhere? These guys have been getting so many key hits.
It's hard to believe Schmidt's up representing the tying run after what happened in the top of this inning.
Isn't that so? It's a 7-4 Houston lead. Here's the stretch. Pitch on the way to Mike. Way outside, a ball.
As I said up in Montreal the other night, they shouldn't let him beat him here. I mean, you're not going to walk him, but you should not give him a pitch that he can head out of this ballpark.
Are you trying the reverse black cat?
No, I'm dead serious. And Andujar threw a bad slider away from him.
If Schmidt keeps it alive on something other than a home run, Lonnie Smith is on deck.
Who is not a power threat.
Pitch on the way to Mike. Way outside, ball 2.
2-0. Now, this is where he hurt Montreal the other night. First 2 pitches from Andujar aren't even close. And I know he's thinking that right now. I'm not going to let this guy hit the ball of the ballpark and beat me.
Or tie him, as the case may be.
Tie me, yeah.
2-0 on Schmidt. Here's the stretch. The 2-0 pitch. Low and inside. Ball 3. 3-0.
You are seeing an unintentional, intentional walk with 2 men on base.
Which, as Joe Kuharich would undoubtedly say if he was here, is rare but not unusual. Right, Joe?
And very smart as far as the Houston Astros go. 3-0. Mike Schmidt is going to be green lighting all the way here.
It's going to be tomorrow in a minute. Here's the set. The 3-0 pitch. He took a rip and flies to right field. Terry Poole moving over under the ball, and he makes the catch for the final out of the game. Well, that wasn't a bad move by Schmidt. It didn't really do any good to have him walk, so he took a rip, and he flies out to right field, and the inning is over. The Phillies pick up a run in the 10th inning. There was 1 hit, 1 Houston error, 2 men left on base. The Astros win this game 7-4 in 10 innings. The series is tied 1-1, and we'll be back with the wrap-up in just a moment.
Makes me feel good. Gerard gives you two ways. The George machine.
It's convenient.
Saves me a lot of time.
Very quick.
Revolutionized banking.
You can come day or night.
And with George Bank by phone.
You can bank with him over the phone, too.
When you have your secret code number, you're not going to get mixed up with somebody else.
Banking convenience from Gerard.
It's a quick way to find out my balance. I think it's terrific.
So the Phillies have just played in the longest league championship game in the history of championship play, and it does not come out as a happy result. 3:34 was the time of this ball game. Phillies lose it 7-4 in 10 innings to the Astros, who fought back with a 4-run 10th. Phillies actually did manage to get the tying run to the plate in their half of the 10th, but couldn't do anything with Andujar, even though he was a little wild. He had to come in and finish it out for LaCourte. Let's get a comment from Wheels. Wheels, the ball game actually got away from the Phillies, not so much after the Astros had scored a go-ahead run in the 10th, but when the Phillies gave up those extra runs.
That's right, Andy. That happens so many times in games. A team gets frustrated, the one-run scores, and somebody makes a bad play. In this case, it was a bad throw by Bake McBride. Set up a couple other runs, and then Soche came in and gave up the big double, or the big triple by Bergman that broke the game open. But Phillies played hard tonight. They tied the game in the 8th. They should have won in the 9th. They didn't win in the 9th, and they're right back looking at what they looked at last weekend in Montreal. They got to go to a hostile ballpark and win 2 out of 3, or it's all over.
Before we give you the totals, we pause for station identification on the Phillies Baseball Network.
At 12:03, this is KYW News Radio in the Delaware Valley. And on this 9th day of October, 1980, AccuWeather is calling for clear weather overnight below near 50.
Here are the totals tonight for the winning Astros. 7 runs, 8 hits. They committed to 1 error. They left 8 men on base. For the Phillies, 4 runs, 14 hits, 2 errors. They left 14 on base. The winning pitcher in the ball game will be Frank LaCourte, though he certainly didn't distinguish himself out there too much. The losing pitcher will be Ron Reed. So the Phillies and the Astros are all even at 1 per side. There'll be an off day to think about it now, and then the Phillies will take on Joe Niekro behind Larry Christensen at the Dome on Friday afternoon. Dave Toy has been our engineer for tonight's game. Our executive producer for Phillies baseball is Steve Silverman. Phillies baseball is a presentation of the Philadelphia Phillies. And now for Harry Callis, Rich Ashburn, Chris Wheeler, and Tim McCarver, Andy Musser saying so long from the vet, where the Astros won tonight in 10, 7-4. Stay tuned for the Tasty Cake wrap-up show on the Phillies Baseball Network.
This is KYW News Radio, voice of the Phillies in the Delaware Valley. Happy to have brought you Phillies baseball.
Back at Veterans Stadium, where Houston is even the league championship series at 1 game apiece, winning in 10 innings by a score of 7-4. It was Houston once again that got first blood and got the first score in this ball game. With 1 out, Craig Reynolds walked, was sacrificed to second by Nolan Ryan, and that brought to the plate Terry Poole.
Left-handed batting Terry Poole. Here's the pitch to him. Line drive left field. It's going to be scooped up on the short hop by Luzinski. Here comes the throw on through. Cut off. Throw to second base. It sails into the outfield beyond Trio. And here is Poole heading for third base. The throw not in time, and he's at third, and the Astros lead 1-0.
But it did not take the Phillies long to tie the ball game. In the 4th inning, Mike Schmidt led off with a double off the right field fence, and with nobody out, it brought to the plate Greg Luzinski. Now the stretch by Nolan Ryan. The pitch to the ball. Swing and a base hit down the right field line. Schmidt rounding third. He'll score. Luzinski heading for second. Pulls through. Gets by the shortstop Reynolds. Luzinski in at second with a double. And it's a 1-1 ball game. So Greg Luzinski continues his hitting in league championship series play. He's hit in all 13 that he has played. That made it a 1-1 ball game. And in that same inning with Luzinski at third base and 1 out, it brought to the plate Gary Maddox. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Maddox. Swing and a line drive, hit left field. Luzinski scores. Maddox at first base, and the Phillies lead it 2-1. So the Phillies took a 2-1 lead going into the 6th inning of play, leading at 2-1. Houston had a big threat in the 6th. After 2 were out, Dick Ruffin walked Joe Morgan. He walked Jose Cruz. Cesar Cedeno got a single. Great play on the base hit by Larry Boa, keeping it in the infield and preventing a run from scoring. With the bases loaded and 2 outs, the batter was Art Howe and Dick Ruffin the pitcher, and here's what happened. On the stretch, the 2-strike pitch. Breaking strike three called. He struck him out. A big strikeout for Ruthven. Caught Howe looking at a breaking ball, and down go the Astros in the sixth. They leave the bases loaded. No runs, one hit. Phillies at that point held on to a 2-1 lead, but Houston was able to tie the ball game in the seventh. When with 2 outs, another walk came back to haunt Dick Ruthven. Nolan Ryan, the pitcher, walked with 2 outs, and it brought to the plate Terry Poole. Phillies lead 2-1, seventh inning. Here's Ruthven's stretch. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a line drive right field. McBride over. Can't get it off the tip of his glove. Nolan Ryan being waved around. Trio, a long relay throw, and Ryan is safe at home plate. It gets by Boone. Moving up to third base is Poole, and this is a 2-2 ball game. So a big hit by Terry Poole. His second hit, he was to get 3 hits in the ball game, and at that point it was 2-2. Tug McGraw came in for the Phillies to pitch the 8th after Dick Ruthven was taken out for a pinch hitter. Joe Morgan led off with a double, and it brought to the plate Jose Cruz.
Tug sets. And the 1-strike pitch. Full swing, hard hit ball. Trio can't get it. It goes on through for a hit. Morgan is being waved around. He will score. Astros lead the game 3-2.
So Houston leading at 3-2. Then in the 8th inning, the Phillies were able to tie it in their half of the 8th. On a base hit by Greg Luzinski, he was taken out for a pinch runner, Lonnie Smith. Manny Trio sacrificed Lonnie to second base. And with Lonnie Smith at second and 1 out, Gary Maddox came to the plate.
Here's the stretch. The 2-2 pitch. Line drive center field. It's in for a base hit. Smith is coming round. Here's Cedeno's throw. He slides. He's safe. Phillies tied the game. Maddox goes to second.
So a clutch blow by Gary Maddox, who has been getting clutch hits so far in this league championship series. And it tied it at 3-3, and we'll be back to give you more highlights on what happened after the 3-3 tie after we pause for a tasty break. Back at Veterans Stadium, the ball game was tied at 3-3 going into the 9th inning. Again, the Phillies had a big opportunity. Bases loaded in the 9th with 1 out. Manny Trio struck out. Gary Maddox fouled out to end that threat, so it went into extra innings. And that's when Houston really came to life in the 10th inning. Ron Reed, pitching in his second inning relief, gave up a base hit to Terry Poole. Enos Cabell sacrificed him to second base. Joe Morgan was intentionally walked with 1 out, and it brought to the plate Jose Cruz.
Here's the set by Reed. The 3-1 pitch. Bouncing ball right side is going to go through for a base hit. Being waved around is Terry Poole. Here's the throw. Comes to the plate, not in time. Run scores. Ball gets by, backed up by Reed. Runners move up a base. Astros lead the ball game 4-3. They've got runners at second and third.
And those runners at second and third at that point were Joe Morgan at third base, Jose Cruz at second base. After one pitch had been thrown to Cesar Cedeno, Joe Morgan made what turned out to be a key play in this ball game. He's running on a bad leg. He took himself out of the game with a count 1-0 to Cedeno. And they brought in Rafael Landestoy to run. Cesar Cedeno, the batter, and here's what happened.
The 2-2 to Cedeno. Bouncing ball past the mound. Boa Fields comes to the plate. Safe. A run scores. Everybody's safe.
That was a very, very key play because Morgan would not have scored with that bad leg on that ground ball. Landestoy did. It gave Houston a 5-3 lead. Kevin Sauché came in at that point. It was safe all around on the play at the plate. 2 men on base, and the batter was Dave Bergman.
And the 2-0 pitch to Bergman. Drive into the alley in right center field. It's going to find a huge hole. Coming on around to score will be Cruz. Right behind him is Cedeno. He's going to come in. Here goes Bergman heading for third. He has a 2-run triple, and the Astros have busted it open.
That they did. Getting 4 runs in that 10th inning. Phillies were to score a run in the bottom of the 10th. It was meaningless, and the game ended with Mike Schmidt at the plate. He had a 3-ball, no-strike count, and he got a green light, which you figured he would because he was the one guy in the lineup at that point that could tie the ball game by hitting it out of the park. He had a high towering drive to right that was caught, and that's how the ball game ended.